Good evening, darlings and deviants. So, oh man, I think it is trying to, let's see here. I thought I heard it. Nope, it's monitor off. Here is hoping. Oh, I think that might be because of my settings on here. Let's hope that you guys aren't hearing it in reverb. It has been a while since I have streamed, and the second time I'm streaming on YouTube, so please hang tight as I play music in the background. And hopefully it does not overpower me. Okay, where is my... Oh. Nope, that's not it. Where is the microphone? Okay. Okay, yeah, it was the microphone. Okay. So, first off, let's get my beautiful face off to you guys. Hello, everybody. I don't think I have the chat working off to the left because I don't know how to make YouTube streaming work. But I'm figuring it out as I go along. Normally how I do things is I just jump headfirst into them and I mess up or make it work as I go along. So, today, first off, we are going to be doing a new year of Progmander, Progression Commander, basically where I go through each set of a year, opening a box, and then building a commander deck out of all of them. Theoretically, there will be more sets this year, which is going to be wild for there to be even more sets than there were last year. But considering there's going to be more, we might have a cooler deck, or it might just end up being kind of a good stuff, mesh of stuff. We don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to open. Today, we're going to open up a box of Innistrad Remastered. What we want to see from this box. Ideally, we see something like, we definitely want Edgar Markov, because he's the only 3-color commander that we have access to. Aether Drift, ideally, when it comes out, we open up Loot or some 3-color commander. We want to open up the slow lands. We want to open up a Cryptolith, right? And beyond that, we just want to open up good removal and stuff along those lines. So let's get right on into it. Let's not waste any more time. Open up the box. Yeah. So I did a draft of this last night. The draft environment seems really fun. Which is really weird because, like, the last time they tried to do a different draft environment with Innistrad, they did double feature. Double feature was bad. Double feature, they just kind of slammed the two sets together and it was kind of awkward. But we have here a bunch of packs of Innistrad Remastered. And let's see how this goes. First pack magic. The retro border can have some cool stuff in it. Let's see, we've got a Blood Petal Celebrant. First strike as long as it's attacking. When it dies, you get a blood token. Pretty good. Let's see, where do we do this? We have an Abundant Maw. 6/4 Eldrazi Leech for 8 mana. With a Emerge for 6 and a black, you may cast a spell by sacrificing a creature and paying the Emerge cost, reduced by that creature's mana value. So if you sacrifice a creature that costs 4, it costs 2 and a black. When you cast a spell, target opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. Not bad, but not really what we want to see. Syncopate, though, is something that we like to see. Counterspells are always nice. X and a blue is instant speed. Counters target spell unless its controller pays X. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Your opponent taps out, you get to force spike them, and it feels good. Or you don't have anything else to do, you tap out for like 7, and they have to pay 6 to resolve their spell. Not bad. We'll put that here. Yeah, we'll put these about here. And we will put the legendary creatures we get up there. Or the rares. I don't know yet. Falconwrath Torturer, 2 black for a 2/1 vampire. Sacrifice a creature. This creature gains flying until end of turn. If the sacrificed creature was a human, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. This might actually be better if we do open up one of the vampire commanders. Olivia Voldaren's good. I don't think they reprinted Anya in here. But we're not really making that many humans, so who knows? Angelic Purge, 2 and a white for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you sacrifice a permanent. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Good removal. Not bad. Harvest Hand, 3 mana for a artifact creature Scarecrow 2/2. When this creature dies, return to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. And its backside is Scrounged Scythe. It's an artifact equipment. As long as the equipped creature is a human, it has Menace, equipped for 2 mana. Not bad, not bad. Next up, in the uncommons, we have Sever the Bloodline, 3 and a black, exile target creature and all other creatures that share the same name as that creature, and flashes back for 5 black. Used to be pretty good in Commander, like it just completely got rid of all those token armies, but nowadays it's not super consistent, so it doesn't see as much play, but for our purposes, it's a very solid pickup. Honeymoon Hearse is 2 and a red for a 5/5 vehicle with trample. And instead of paying the normal crew costs, you tap 2 untapped creatures you control, and it becomes an artifact creature. Not bad, but like you gotta have 2 creatures for it to work. We have the Town Gossipmonger, 1 mana, 1/1 human. You can tap an untapped creature you control to transform it into the Incited Rabble. 2/3, attacks each combat fable. You can pay 2 mana to give it +1/+1 until end of turn. +1/+0 until end of turn. Does not survive extra damage. I guess we'll put this in multicolored. Not bad, but a little underpowered for Commander, but that's kind of where we end up standing. Oh, our first rare is Memory Deluge. 2 blue. Instant, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. Put 2 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Yo, any good ponies? Hi, Adam. No, this is actually the first pack. We got a Memory Deluge. It's not bad. Last night, I pulled a couple collector's boosters and got a movie poster Meat Hook Massacre, which is very solid. And a foil Cultivator Colossus, which was really, really nice. Let's put this in the rares here. Ooh! And a Mausoleum Wanderer. 1 blue for a 1/1 spirit with flying. Whenever another spirit you control enters, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Sacrifice this creature. Counter target instant sorcery spell unless its controller pays X, where X is this creature's power. Love this card. Love playing. My favorite Pioneer deck is Blue-White Spirits. And Mausoleum Wanderer is like a mainstay in that deck. Bam. Our first retro bordered card is Gisa's Bidding. 2 black for sorcery, make 2 zombies, and Madness for 2 and a black. Which means if you discard it, you can cast it for 2 and a black. Not bad. And our foil is a Savage Alliance, 2 and a red for an instant with Escalate, which means it's kind of like Spree, but you can choose to pay the cost. Escalate is 1, so you pay 1 for each mode beyond the first. The first one is creatures target player controls gain trample, so you can do this as like a political bargaining tool. Be like, hey, your stuff gets trampled this turn. Or deals 2 damage to target creature, or deals 1 damage to each creature target opponent controls. Not bad. And a mountain. I really like these lands, honestly. Like these old border Innistrad lands are really nice. I want a lot of them. And a art card of Audric, the full art one. Audric Lunarch Marshal. Not a bad first pack, honestly. Double rares in the first pack, I'm not complaining. I would like a legendary. I honestly don't know what to do if I don't get a legendary. So, oofa doofa. If the music is too loud, let me know so I can fix it. We got to think twice. 1 in blue for an instant. Draw a card. Flashback for 2 in a blue to also draw a card. Wildfield Scarecrow. So this is the kind of like quote-unquote ramp that we might have to end up working with. Wildfield Scarecrow is 3 mana for an artifact creature. It's a 1/4 with Defender, which we can pay 2 mana to sacrifice it to search our library for 2 basic lands, reveal them, put them into our hand. Technically, playing a land every turn is ramp. Technically. It's not real ramp, it's just technically ramp. But I mean, it might be what we have to work with for now. Geese is bidding, but not retrofoil this time. Ambush Viper, 1 and a green for a 2/1 with Flash and Death Touch. And our first green card, oddly enough. Neonate's Rush, 2 and a red for an instant. It costs 1 less if I control a vampire, you specifically. Deals 1 damage to target creature and 1 damage to its controller, then you draw a card. Not bad. Evolving Wilds, love to see an Evolving Wilds. We'll put that with the color stuff. Lantern Bearer, 1 blue for a 1/1 with flying with Disturb, 2 and a blue to give Lantern's Lift. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. Not bad. We have Fiend Hunter X. Ooh, uncommons this early. That means we might have more rares. Ooh. 1 white for a 1/3 human cleric with the old school wording of Oblivion Ring. Now, this is why that's important, quote unquote. Whenever it enters, you may exile another target creature. So that enters effect is something that happens on the stack. However, if you manage to remove this guy, like you sacrifice him, you do something in response to that enters trigger, you can make something get exiled forever. Because when it goes to leave, it has an effect when this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Which means, if it leaves, and the thing that it was supposed to exile hasn't been exiled yet, you get to just get away with the creature and get whatever benefit you got from sacrificing this. Not bad. Blood Mist, 3 and a red. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. Not great, but we'll probably play it if we end up being in red. Gaia Reach Bandit, 2 and a red for a 3/2 human rogue werewolf with haste. In the beginning of our upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, you transform it into the Vilden Pack Alpha. Whenever a werewolf you control enters, you may transform it. And it has the old school werewolf text of if a player casts 2 or more spells, you flip it back over. Next we got Bruna the Fading Light. 5 white for a 5/7 Angel Horror. When you cast this spell, you may return target angel or human creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with flying and vigilance, and it melds with Gisela into... That's weird. There's only 1/2 of this card. Oh well, if we get Gisela, we'll see how that looks. But that's another good rare. And we got I got an old Border Mausoleum Wanderer. I am quickly getting my playset for spirits back. And a foil Blazing Torch. 1 generic mana for an artifact equipment. Can't be blocked by vampires or zombies. And the equipped creature has tap, sacrifice it, deals 2 damage to any target. Not bad. Not good, but not bad. And okay. I will probably end up making a video on this card at some point, but these are secretly some of the best cards in the game because they can be anything. If you take a Sharpie and put it on this card and write down what it does, it can be whatever you want. Proxies don't have to be fancy stuff made by artists to be good in your deck. They just have to be legible and say what the card does. I can write, let's see. What's a good card? I could write Heuristic Study write the mana cost, write that it's an enchantment, write what it does. I have a Rhystic Study now. These are great. I love these. Blank magic cards that you can write on. Love it. Which is not to say that you probably, like, if you want to buy a $50 Rhystic Study or whatever, go for it. I don't care. Whatever you do with your money, it's fine. But if you can't afford a $50 Rhystic Study and you think you need it for your deck, don't be afraid to just, like, use one of these, in my opinion. I will still berate you for playing a bad card, though. We have a Festerhide Boar, 300 green for a 3/3 boar with trample. And our first instance of Morbid, this creature enters with 2/+1/+1 counters if a creature died this turn. In Innistrad, things typically die a lot, so this will probably come in as a 5/5. Festival Crashers, 1 and a red for a 1/3 devil. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. If you have a lot of instant sorceries, it's not bad. Probably more for limited, though. Another Blazing Torch. A Reckless Scholar, 2 and a blue for a 2/1 human wizard. Tap to make target player draw a card, then discard a card. There is Lab Maniac in this, so, like, we could open that. But you need to draw a lot of cards to make Lab Maniac work. Guardian of Pilgrims is 1 and a white for a 2/2 Spirit Cleric. Whenever this creature enters, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Solid, but, like, not good for Commander. Midnight Scavengers, 4 and a black for a 3/3 human rogue. When this creature enters, you may return target creature card with mana value 3 less from your graveyard to your hand, and it melds with Graph Rats. Once again, a weird second half of a card. I wonder what it does. Ghoul Tree is 7 green for a 10/10 zombie tree folk. It costs 1 less cast for each creature card in your graveyard. Probably not that bad. We could probably get there eventually. Stormkirk Occultist, 2 and a red for a 3/2 vampire horror with trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. Till end of turn, you may play that card, and it's got madness for 1 and a red. Lumberdots, 2 green for a 1/1 tree folk with hexproof. And whenever a creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I think this is very solid and it can see a lot of play in, like, sacrifice-y decks or just decks that like to kill stuff a lot. Because it can get very big, and it can't be solved with single target removal. They gotta wipe the board, or block it. Which is not easy, because it should be big. Covetous Castaway is 1 and a blue for a 1/3 human. Whenever this creature dies, you mill 3 cards, and it disturbs for 3 blue. For a Ghostly Castigator, has flying for a 3/4. When this creature enters, you may shuffle up to 3 target cards from your graveyard into your library, and if it dies, it gets exiled instead. Our first rare is Falcon Wrathgorger, 1 red for a 2/1 Vampire Berserker. Each vampire creature card you own that isn't on the battlefield has madness. The madness cost is equal to its mana cost, which isn't that bad. Ooh, Second Harvest is our retro frame card. 2 green for an instant for each token you control. Create a token that's a copy of that permanent. Not bad. A foil Lunarch Veteran, 1 white for a 1/1 human cleric. Whenever another creature enters, you gain 1 life. Then it disturbs for 1 white into the same thing, but it's got flying and is a spirit now. Not bad. A Swamp, a Chandra Emblem, and a human. Where'd I put the tokens? I'll just put the tokens over there. Not bad so far. I do want a legendary creature, ideally. I don't know what I'll do if I don't open a single one in this pack. In this box, rather. Gluttonous Guest is 2 and a black for a 1/4 vampire. When it enters, you make a blood token. Whenever you sacrifice a blood token, you gain 1 life. Brambleworm, 6 and a green for a 7/6 worm. Reach trample. Whenever it enters, you gain 5 life. And you can exile it from your graveyard for 2 and a green to gain 5 more life. Ooh, a Braid. Very good card. 1 in a red. Instant deals 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact. Not bad. So this is another thing where this is also the ramp that we're kind of working with. Deranged Alchemist is 1 in a blue for a 1/1 human wizard with tap, mill a card, add a colorless. which we need to be in blue to make work. Could be a bit rough. Butcher Ghoul is 1 and a black for a 1/1 with Undying, which means if it didn't have any counters on it, no +1/+1 counters on it, when it dies, it comes back with a +1/+1 counter on it. Strength of Arms, 1 white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and then if you control an equipment, does not need to be equipped, notably. You just need to have an equipment. You also make a soldier token. Village Messenger, 1 red for a 1/1 human werewolf with haste, and it has the typical old school werewolf text. And it flips over into something with Menace, and the old school werewolf text to flip back over. Griff's Boon, 1 white for an enchantment aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 in flying, and then you can put it back attached to a creature for 3 and a white. Not bad. Blade Stitched Scob, black-blue for a 2/3 zombie soldier. Other zombies get +1/+0. Not bad, especially since we're getting some more zombie stuff in the commander decks for Aether Drift. But, you know, we don't have access to that. We're just opening boxes. Cathar's Call, 2 and a white for an enchantment aura. Same thing as Griff's Boon, except instead of getting flying, it gets vigilance, and at the beginning of your end step, you make a 1/1. Not bad. Ooh, this is a good one. Decimator of the Provinces, 10 mana for a 7/7 Eldrazi boar. But it has a merge, so 6 green, green, green. So we are playing at least 3 green, but if we sacrifice a real creature, we get to do this for cheaper. And whenever you cast this spell, creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn, and it has trample and haste. This can end games, which is something we were really lacking last year, is something big that can just end the game. We had a lot of value, we had a lot of cool stuff, but nothing that just like came down and ended the game. This ends the game. But we also have to be in green, which there's not that many legends in green. Well, there's the Gitrog monster, but we need the Gitrog monster. Our retro bordered card is Soul Separator. This card's weird. 3 generic for an artifact that you can pay 5 mana to tap and sacrifice it to exile target creature card from your graveyard. You make a token that is a 1/1 that's a spirit that has all of its abilities. Then you make a black zombie that's power and toughness is equal to that creature's power and toughness. So you make a 1/1 with all the abilities, but nothing else. And a guy that has equal to its power and toughness, but it has no abilities. You basically just like rip the abilities out of a creature and you put them onto a spirit. Which isn't bad, but it's a little weird. It's kind of hard to do it. In limited, it's fine. It's like 8 mana over 2 turns to get 2 bodies on board. Meh. Our foil is Spontaneous Mutation, 1 blue for an enchantment aura. Flash enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -X/-0, where X is the number of creatures in your graveyard. Really just kind of blanks a creature in terms of power. Doesn't really do much besides that, but if you need something to stop hitting you, that's how you do it. And we got a forest, and another one of the fancy blank cards. I think we almost got one of every basic. We need an island, and then we'll be good to go. Still no legendaries, but we're not even a third of the way through the box yet, so here's hoping. And the opening will probably get faster as I go through like the commons and uncommons and stuff. We've got an Eccentric Farmer, 2 and a green for a 2/3 human peasant. Whenever it enters, you mill 3 cards and you can put a land card from your graveyard back into your hand. Note, this isn't like a lot of the more modern versions of milling, where they kind of want you to pull from the cards that you mill. Innistrad just lets you pull anything out of your graveyard. Borrowed Hostility is 1 red for an instant with Escalate 3, which means you can choose an additional cost if you pay 3. Choose one or both. Target creature gets +3/+0, or target creature gains first strike. Not bad. Soul Departure, 1 blue sorcery, return target creature to its owner's hand with flashback for 4 and a blue, which means later on, you can cast it from your graveyard, just bounce another creature. It's fine, you play Unsummon in limited. Tragic Slip, 1 black for a instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Morbid, so if a creature has died, that creature gets -13 until end of turn. Basically, if a creature dies, something's dying, even if it has indestructible. It's just gone. Gather Townsfolk is 1 and a white with a sorcery. Create 2 1/1 white human creature tokens. Then Fateful Hour, one of the worst mechanics in the game. If you have 5 or less life, create 5 of those tokens instead. Yeah. You're probably doing this for 2 mana to make 2 bodies, honestly. Ecstatic Awakener. 1 black for a 1/1 human wizard. Pay 2 and a black to sacrifice another creature. Draw a card, then transform it into the Awoken Demon. It's a 4/4. That's it. Bones crackled, flesh split apart, and the screams of euphoric agony gave way to unholy laughter. Edgy. We got another Soul Separator, but this time it's not retrofoil, so it is strictly worse. Morkrut Banshee. Howdy, Drooby. Howdy, howdy. 3 black for a 4/4 spirit. When it enters, if a creature died, gets -4/-4. Not bad. Mystic Retrieval is one of my old school favorite cards. It was in my Melik Is It Paragon deck for the longest time. It's 3 and a blue. You put an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard back into your hand, and you could duplicate it with Melik. And it has flashback for 2 and a red. You couldn't flashback it then, but you got 3 cards back over the course of a couple turns. That was okay in old school Commander. Speaking of cards that Melik would have loved, Galvanic Iteration. Blue-red for an instant. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery... Whenever you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell, and you can cast new targets for the copy. Fantastic. And it's got a flashback. I love it. And we got the battle. Invasion of Innistrad. 2 black for a battle siege. We don't know what other battles look like yet, but hey, we know what sieges look like. It has flash, so you can cast it at instant speed and give something. It tragic slips something. -13. And then if you manage to deal 5 damage to it and get all those counters off, it flips over into Deluge of the Dead. It's an enchantment. When it enters, you make 2 2/2 zombies. Then you can pay 2 and a black to exile a target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you make a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Very good. We will definitely be playing that if we get black. Woo! We got a legendary. Okay, don't panic, everybody. We have a legendary. Archangel Avacyn. 3 white for a 4/4 legendary creature angel with flash, flying, and vigilance. Whenever it enters, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And whenever a non-angel creature you control dies, you transform it into Avacyn the Purifier. She still has flying, and whenever she transforms, it deals 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent. Very good. We have a legendary. And we got a foil Lumbernut and a foil Swamp. I like the foil. Not an island, though, so we don't have a full collection yet. Alright, we've got a legendary. Everything's fine. We can build a deck, at minimum. Will it be a good one? Unsure. Aim High is 1 green for an instant. Untap a creature. It gets +2/+2 and gains reach until end of turn. Solid. Ancestral Anger. 1 red for a sorcery. Target creature gains trample and gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is 1 plus the number of cards named Ancestral Anger in your graveyard. Then you draw a card. It's a staple in my Feather Miku deck because it draws a card. And that's all you want stuff like this to do in that deck. Tower Guys, 3 blue for a 2/2 spirit. Whenever this creature enters, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand, and the 1 other into your graveyard. Solid, draws you a card, 2/2 flyer. Not too super exciting. Crawl from the Cellar, 1 black for a sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Put a +1 counter on up to 1 target zombie you control, and flashes back for 3 and a black. It's alright. Cobbled Wings, 2 generic mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has flying and equips for 1. Solid, gives evasion. Inspiring Captains, 3 and a white for a 3/3 human knight. Whenever it enters, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Solid, good for big token decks, but not for other things that aren't going to have as many tokens and stuff. We got another Lunarch Veteran. Splinter Fright, 2 and a green for a star trample elemental. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you mill 2 cards. Not bad. Gaia Sight Snare, another mainstay of blue-white spirits, 2 and a blue for an instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a spirit, and 1 less to cast if you control an enchantment. Control target spell, counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. Not bad. Another Gaia Reach Bandit. And a Restoration Angel. Ooh, 3 and a white for a 3/4 flash flying angel. Whenever it enters, you may exile a non-angel creature you control and return that card to the battlefield under your control. Staple in Blink decks, but we don't have anything that we really are excited to blink yet. But maybe we will get something. Voldaren Epicure in the retro bordered frame. 1 red for a 1/1 vampire. Whenever it enters, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and you make a blood token. Blood tokens are these fancy things. You pay 1 and discard a card and tap it to sacrifice the token and draw a card. Not bad, but typically you want to have a lot of stuff that works with blood tokens. We got a foil Falcon Wrath Torturer and a mountain. No islands yet. Alright, so we have a legendary. I would prefer a different one because Boros is a little rough to build around, especially in limited. Ignore the fact that I have like 3 Boros commander decks. Duel for Dominance, 1 and a green for an instant with Coven. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, that's what Coven is, you put a +1/+1 counter on the chosen creature you control. Then they fight. So really it's mostly just 1 and a green for a fight spell. That gives you a little bit of a bonus if you have Coven. Voldaren Duelist. 3 and a red for a 3/2 vampire warrior with haste. Whenever it enters, target creature can't block this turn. Not bad. Battleground Geist, 4 and a blue for a 3/3 spirit with flying. Other spirit creatures you control get +1/+0. Good if you're playing a lot of spirits. Not good in the blue-eyed spirit deck because it's a lot of mana. Lunarch Mantle, 1 and a white for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has 1 sacrifice a permanent. This creature gains flying until end of turn. Easy way to trigger Avacyn, but also might kill the creature that it's attached to. Another Guardian of Pilgrims. Conduit of Storms. This is the first Eldrazi werewolf we've seen. It's 2 and a red for a 2/3 werewolf horror. Whenever this creature attacks, you add red at the beginning of your next main phase this turn, and you can transform it for 3 red. So in Eldritch Moon, all of the werewolves got corrupted because the moon and the werewolves in Innistrad are really interconnected. So instead of having the normal ability from like Gaia Reach Bandit, where if spells weren't cast, they flip over, these transform by just paying a bunch of mana. And this one transforms into the Conduit of Imrakul. It's colorless now. Whenever it attacks, you add colorless at the beginning of your next main phase this turn. As without, so within. Next up is Lightning Axe. Solid, 1 red for an instant. As additional cost to cast a spell, you either discard a card, which triggers madness, or you pay 5 mana. And if you're paying 5 mana, it's not really that worth it. But if you're just discarding a card to deal 5 damage to a creature, not that bad. Mentor of the Make is really solid. 2 and a white for a 2/2 human soldier. Whenever another creature you control with power 2 or less enters, you may pay 1. If you do, you draw a card. Not bad. Ghoulish Procession, 1 and a black for an enchantment. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures die, you make a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Decayed is a worse 2/2, honestly. You can't block with it. You can't attack with it without it dying. However, it does still it's like it doesn't come into play tapped typically. What you used to use it for in Midnight Hunt is when I think Decayed came out. Midnight Hunt had a lot of things that let you tap a bunch of zombies to do a thing. Crypt Breaker as a card that is really good for it. You tap a bunch of zombies to draw a card. Decayed zombies are good for being tapped. Basically, you just get an additional body. Ooh, we got an old full border young wolf. 1 green for a 1/1 wolf with Undying. Not bad. We got the Hell Vault. 3 generic mana, 1 in tap, exile target creature you control. 7 mana in tap, exile target creature you don't control. And when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you return all cards exiled with it to the battlefield under their owner's control. Very expensive removal, but at instant speed. But if they kill this, they get all their stuff back. Depends on what you're looking for. We got a Restless Bloodseeker in the retro frame. 1 black for a 1/3. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life, you make a blood token. You can sacrifice 2 blood tokens to make Blood-Soaked Reveler. 3/3. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, create a blood token. And 4 in a black. Each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. This does technically win the game. Eventually. Ooh! That is fancy, but not the mythic we wanted to see in foil. Through the Breach is 4 and a red for a instant arcane mythic. You may put a creature card from your hand on the battlefield. That creature gains haste. Sacrifice that creature at the beginning of the next end step, and you splice onto arcane for 2 red. I will admit, I don't think there is a single arcane spell in this pile that is not Through the Breach. But very nice. Got a forest. All right. I wish that foil mythic was a different foil mythic, but Through the Breach is nice. It of the Horde Swarm. 8 mana for a 4/4 Eldrazi insect with a merge for 6 and a green. Whenever you cast a spell, you make 2 1/1 green insect creature tokens. Murderous Compulsion, 1 and a black for a sorcery. Destroy target tapped creature. Solid. And Madness for the same cost. If you discard it, you get a little bit of a benefit. We got a normal young wolf. A Hungry Ridge Wolf, 1 red for a 2/2 wolf. At the beginning, as long as you control another wolf or werewolf, this creature gets +1/+0 and has trample. Another Syncopate. Another Angelic Purge. Villagers of Estwald, 2 green for a 2/3 human werewolf that flips over into a 4/6. And that's it. Just a big boy. Wandering Mind, 1 blue-red for a 2/1 horror. Whenever it enters, you look top 6 cards of your library, and you can reveal a non-creature, non-land card. So it can be an enchantment, it can be an instant, it can be a sorcery. You get a planeswalker, gets a planeswalker. And you put it into your hand and the rest on the bottom in a random order. Fury... Excuse me. Fury Blade Vampire, 1 red for a 1/2 human... Vampire Berserker, definitely vampire. Trample, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may discard a card. If you do, this creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Not bad. Oh, that was a green card. Goes over there. We got Graft Rats. Okay. So Graft Rats is 2 and a 1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you own and control this creature and a creature named Midnight Scavengers, you exile them and meld them into the Chittering Host, which is... We got there. I just need to find the... Here we are. We take the Midnight Scavengers. We take the Chittering Host, and it transforms into... the Chittering Host. It's a 5/6 with haste and menace. When this creature enters, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain menace until end of turn. Meld is such a cool mechanic. But the problem is you can't really make it work in Limited unless... Well, I guess you could. It would just have to have, like, 2 things that, like this top half would need to be able to meld with, like, other things, I guess. Like, if you could take Graft Rats, and then you had this that melds with a bunch of different things. I don't know. Could work. Like a kind of creature feature kind of thing, where you mix and match different backsides. That'd be cool. That's a free one, Wizards. And we got the Anime Tree of Perdition. 3 and a black for a 0/13 plant with Defender. You exchange target opponent's life total with this creature's toughness. So if something becomes... It's a 0/13. Target opponent's life total becomes 13 if this gets tapped. Not bad. A retro bordered Flesh Taker. White-black for a 2/2 human assassin. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, you gain 1 life and scry 1. You can pay 1 and sacrifice another creature. This gets +2/+2. Good card. Foil Bound by Moon Silver. 2 and a white for an enchantment aura. Enchanted creature can't attack, block, or transform. And you can sacrifice another permanent, including lands, to attach it to a different creature. Only as a sorcery, though. Get a swamp. An Eldrazi Horror / Human Soldier. All right. Moving on up. We got Olivia's Dragoon, 1 black for a 2/2 vampire berserker that can gain flying if you discard a card. Spore Crawler, 2 and a green for a 3/2. Whenever it dies, you draw a card. Simple, easy. I'm done reading it in the first 10 seconds. What happened to these cards? Voldaren Epicure, once again. Wretched Throng, 1 blue for a 2/1 zombie horror. Whenever it dies, you may search your library for a card named Wretched Throng, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no again! Says Beltstad, Cathar Recruit, his last words, unfortunately. So unfortunately, we can't really use Wretched Throng to its proper extent. Because, unfortunately, we can only play one of these. It doesn't have the text that says, hey, you can go fetch out other ones, or you can play as many as you want in a deck. Unfortunately, that's all we got. Another Bound by Moonsilver, another Lantern Bearer, Geist Catcher's Rig, 6 mana for a 4/5 construct. Whenever it enters, you may have to deal 4 damage to a creature with flying. Not bad, not bad. Haunted Dead is 3 and a black for a 2/2 zombie. Whenever it enters, you make a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Then you can pay 1 and a black, discard 2 cards, and return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Not bad. Gotta discard a lot of cards for it though, but if you have Madness, can make it work. Wild Hunger, 2 and a green for an instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains trample until end of turn, and it has flashback. This card is a menace in limited. If they cast this once, you kind of have to be aware of whenever they attack and they have 4 mana up for the rest of the game, which is terrifying. Soul Cipher Board, 1 and a blue for an artifact, enters with 3 omen counters on it, 1 and a blue and tap. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your graveyard. You don't put the other one into your hand, it just goes into your graveyard. Whenever a creature card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, you remove an omen counter from this. Then if it has no omen counters, you transform it into the Cipher-Bound Spirit. 3/2 with flying, can only block creatures with flying. Then you can pay 3 and a blue to discard 2 cards, then discard a card. Not bad, not bad. Ooh, that's a good one. Deadeye Navigator, 4 blue for a 5/5 spirit with Soulbound, and as long as it's paired with another creature, each of those creatures has 1 and a blue, exile this creature, then return it to the battlefield under your control. So Deadeye Navigator is really interesting. 1 Soulbound is a weird mechanic. So when you use that 1 and a blue to blink this creature, technically the Deadeye Navigator and the creature that you just blinked become unsoulbounded. So if you want to, I don't know, blink it and then play something else to make that blink shenanigans work, you can. But also, it can just infinitely blink something if you have something that makes 2 mana when it comes into play, which could be good. But predominantly, you're just paying that 1 and a blue to constantly be getting different interest effects. And that can be any number of really solid things. We got an old border Gather the Townsfolk, a foil Spore Crawler, a Plains, and a Demon/Human Cleric. Deadeye Navigator is a really solid pickup, honestly. Eaten Alive is 1 black for a sorcery. As additional cost to cast a spell, you either sacrifice a creature, or you pay 3 and a black. You can exile target creature, or a planeswalker. Abundant Growth, 1 green for an enchantment. Draws a card when it comes into play. And Enchanted Land has add 1 mana of any color. It's not ramp, because you have to choose that or the normal tap ability, but fixing your mana is not bad. Another Blood Petal Celebrant. Makeshift Mauler, 3 and a blue for a 4/5. But that sounds really good, and kind of on par nowadays. But as initial cost to cast a spell, you gotta exile a creature card from your graveyard, which sounds easy. Until you try to build a limited deck around this, and suddenly you can't get a creature card in your graveyard to save your life on turn 4. Village Rites is 1 black for an instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you gotta sacrifice a creature, but you draw 2 cards. Not bad. Another Gather the Townsfolk. Handweir Watchkeep, 2 and a red for a 1/5 with Defender. He scans for wolves, knowing there's one he can never anticipate, which is the wolf inside! Bane of Handweir. It's 5/5, attacks each combat of Fable, and, you know, same werewolf text. Technically, he never left his post. He looks after the wolf wherever it goes. Spooky. Next up is Somberwald Sage, a very solid pickup. 2 and a green for a 0/1 human druid. You tap to add 3 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells, though. Not bad, not bad. Savage Alliance is 2 and a red for an instant. Escalate, I think we've already opened this one before. Intangible Virtue is very solid. 1 and a white. Creature under control, get +1/+1 and have vigilance. Not bad, not bad. Ooh, a Natural Growth. Okay, this enchantment is kind of silly. For 1 green, 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 green. So 5 total mana, 4 of which is green. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. Very solid, but very heavy on green. We have a Biolume Egg, 2 and a blue for a 0/4 Serpent Egg. Whenever this enters, you scry 2. And whenever you sacrifice this creature, you return to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, and it becomes the Biolume Serpent. It's 4/4, and if you sacrifice 2 islands, it can't be blocked. The flavor text. Serpents leave their eggs in the cold and inky depths, knowing their hatchlings are more fearsome than anything else that might come along. Spooky. A foil Niblis of the Urn. 1 and a white for a 1/1 spirit with flying. Whenever it attacks, you may tap target creature. And a foil Plains. Okay, we still only have 1 legendary, which is a little rough. But if I have to play Avacyn as a legendary creature, I won't complain. Epithet Golem is 5 mana for a 3/5 artifact creature golem. 2 generic mana, put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. It helps you not mill out, I guess. It's not a good card. Moldgraft Millipede, 4 and a green for a 2/2 insect horror. Whenever it enters, you mill 3 cards, and then you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature for each creature card in your graveyard. Not bad. Ooh, that's a good one. Faithless Looting. 1 red for a sorcery. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. You're not getting up on cards at all, but, you know, it filters out. And triggers Madness, if you have that. And it flashes back for 2 and a red. Not bad. Essence Flux is like a bitty tiny Deadeye Navigator. Instant. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. If it's a spirit, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Not bad. Abyssinian Priest, 1 and a white for a 1/2 human cleric, 1 and tap target non-human creature. You would think that in Innistrad Limited, this would be able to tap almost everything. Turns out, a lot of things are humans on Innistrad. The werewolves on their front halves are still human. And there's a lot of humans that are weird little guys, like the Thermo Alchemist and stuff like that. Oof. Or like this guy. Desperate Farmer, 2 and a black for a 2/2 human peasant with lifelink. Whenever another creature you control dies, it transforms into the Depraved Harvester, which is 4/3, which is a 4/3 with lifelink, and it's a human knight. All of them are still human. Another Nibbles of the Urn. A Vile Spawn Spider, green-blue for a 2/3 spider with reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, you mill a card. You can pay 2, a green, and a blue to sacrifice it and tap. Create a 1/1 insect creature token for each creature card in your graveyard. Not bad, not bad. Cackling Counterpart, 1 blue. Make a token that's a copy of a creature you control, and it flashes back for 5 blue. Not bad. Ooh! Planeswalker! Jace, Unraveler of Secrets. 3 blue for a Jace. +1, scry 1, then draw a card. -2, return target creature card to its owner's hand. And -8, you can emblem with whenever an opponent casts their first spell each turn, counter that spell. Jace is slowly becoming a villain, and I am on board with it. But this one is when he was a good boy. Kinda. Ooh, we got another rare, Tireless Tracker, 2 and a green for a 3/2 human scout with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you make a clue token, which I think we got one over here. On the other side of this blood token, you pay 2 to sacrifice to draw a card. And whenever you sacrifice a clue, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Our retro bordered card is a Demon Male Halberd, 4 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +4/+2, but to equip you have to sacrifice a creature. Spooky. Our foil's an Alchemist Greeting, 4 and a red for a sorcery, deals 4 damage to target creature. Madnesses for 1 and a red. And a mountain, and a spirit that is also a human. Okay. We're almost a third of the way through the box. Only 1 legendary creature still. We can't play Jace in the command zone. Which is unfortunate because Wretched Gryff is a really good card. 7 mana for a 3/4 Eldrazi Hippogriff. Whenever you cast a spell, you draw a card, but it also has flying and emerge for 5 and blue. Not bad. Speaking of tapping zombies with the enchantment earlier, Siege Zombie, 1 black for a 2/2 zombie. You tap 3 untapped creatures you control. Each opponent loses 1 life. This is at instant speed. This is solid. Dawnheart Disciples, 1 and a green for a 2/2 human warlock. Whenever another human you control enters, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This creature does, not the humans that probably can't attack. Another Alchemist Greeting. Traveler's Amulet is it's a really solid thing for us to pick up right now. It's 1 generic mana for an artifact. You pay 1 to sacrifice it. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Crusader of Odric is 2 and a white for a human soldier that is a star power and toughness. When its power and toughness is equal to the number of creatures you control. So it's 3 mana 1/1 on its own, but typically if you're playing it, it won't be on its own for long. A Scorn Villager, 1 and a green for a 1/1 human werewolf. Taps out a green, and if no spells get cast, it becomes a 2/2 with Vigilance that taps for 2 green. Not bad, not bad. We have a Nebelgast Heist. Nebelgast Herald, 2 blue for a 2/1 spirit with flash and flying. Whenever this creature or another spirit you control enters, tap target creature an opponent controls. There was a time that I was seriously considering this card for blue-white spirits because aggro was just getting out of hand. But it was a little rough. The solution to aggro in blue-white spirits is just be faster than they are. Forbidden Alchemy is 2 and a blue for an instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard, but then flash it back for 6 and a black. Not bad. Shrill Howlers, 2 and a green for a 3/1 werewolf horror. Creature with power less than this creature's power can't block it, and for 5 and a green, you transform it into the Howling Chorus. Same thing, creature with power less than this creature's power can't block it, but whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you make a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi horror creature token. Spooky. We got another legendary, but it's mono white. Thalia, and it's also one of my favorites. Thalia, Heretic Cathar, 2 and a white for a 3/2 human soldier with first strike. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter tapped. Everything basically enters tapped. Salvation will not be granted by the Lunar Council. It must be earned, at the edge of a sword if necessary. Done by Magali Vien. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Magali Villeneuve. I think it's Villeneuve. Magali Villeneuve. She's amazing. She's doing some of the best art in Magic the Gathering right now. She did Storm. She did the new Nissa. She did Cloud and Sephiroth for the Final Fantasy set. And she did Thalia. It's baller. Seize the Storm. 4 and a red for a sorcery. Create a red elemental creature token with trample, and this token's power and toughness are each equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, plus the number of cards with flashback you own in exile. Very good card. Ooh, and a foil rare, Distended Mindbender. 8 mana for a 5/5 Eldrazi insect with a merge for 5 black. Whenever you cast a spell, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card that is mana value 3 or less, and a card that is mana value 4 or greater, and they discard those cards. And we finally got an island. Let's go. Last pack here, and then I'm going to drink some water, maybe a bit of soda, and we will see where we're at there. We got a Stitch Mangler, 2 and a blue for a 2/3 zombie horror. Enters tapped, and whenever it enters, you tap a creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Sanitarium Skeleton, 1 black for a 1/2 skeleton with 2 and a black. Return it from your graveyard to your hand. Intrepid Provisioner, 2 and a green for a 3/3 human scout with trample. Whenever it enters, another target human you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Another Seize the Storm. Another Inspiring Captain. Another Strength of Arms. Ooh, Delver. 1 blue for a 1/1 human wizard. At the beginning of your upkeep, you look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If it's an instant or sorcery card, it transforms into a 3/2 flyer, Insectile Aberration. Delver is super solid. He's not as good nowadays, but he's solid. Ooh, Blood Artist. 1 black for a 0/1 vampire. Whenever this creature or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Very good. Hamlet Captain, 1 green for a 2/2 human warrior. Whenever it attacks or blocks, other humans get +1/+1. Indulgent Aristocrat, 1 black for a 1/1 vampire noble with lifelink. You pay 2 to sacrifice a creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. Ooh, Metallic Mimic. 2 generic for a 2/1 shapeshifter. When it enters, you choose a creature type. This creature is the chosen type in addition to its other types. And each other creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Very good for Kindred decks. Ooh, retro bordered Geistlight Snare. I like it. I'm on board. And a Cryptolith Fragment. Very solid because we do need a ramp. 3 generic mana. Artifact. Enters tapped. Taps add 1 mana of any color. Each player loses 1 life. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if each player has 10 or less life, you transform it into a 1/4 with Flying and Death Touch. Whenever it attacks, each opponent loses 3 life. This looks really pretty in foil. Like, really pretty, honestly. An island and a blood token that is also a clue. Okay, I'm gonna drink some water. Gotta be healthy. Water. This stream brought to you by water. You need it to live. Literally. Next pack. Imprisoned in the Moon. 2 and a blue for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature, land, or planeswalker, and it becomes a wastes. It becomes a land that has tapped added colorless mana. And it loses everything else. It's a land. Let's sort this out before we keep going. Boop. Shkaboop. Skip-a-bop. Spinda is overseeing our rares. Good job. Alright, we got a Grapple of the Past, 1 in a green, instant, mill 3 cards, then you may return a creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. Blood Mad Vampire, 2 in a red for a 4/1 Vampire Berserker. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Has madness for 1 in a red. Another Abundant Maw, another Spontaneous Mutation. Dauntless Cathar, 2 in a white for a 3/2 human soldier. 1 in a white, exile this creature from your graveyard. You create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, but you can only activate it as a sorcery. Another Villagers of Estwald. Galvanic Juggernaut is first uncommon. 4 mana for a 5/5 Juggernaut. Attacks each combat Fable. This creature doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever another creature dies, you untap this creature. I feel like there is something we can do with this and Agatha's Soul Cauldron, but I don't know. And obviously not like us in like Progmander, because we can't have Agatha's Soul Cauldron yet. Might reprint it this year. Ulvenwald Mysteries, 2 in a green for an enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you investigate. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, investigate means you make a clue. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, you make a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Another Restless Bloodseeker. Ooh, Tauren's Fist of the Angels. 1 green white for a 2/2 human cleric with training. So whenever he attacks with another creature with greater power, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. So if you attack with a 3/3, he gets a counter. And then whenever you cast a creature spell, you make a 1/1 green and a white human creature token, also with training. Not bad. A lot of tokens. A Retrofoil Tragic Slip, and a foil Cathar's Call, in a foil mountain. So I know we have Avacyn, but I think with Tauren, we're definitely on board with him, because green has a lot of our solid stuff. And like it's tokens, we have the pseudo what's its name? The Decimator of the Provinces. It's kind of like a Craterhoof Behemoth, which we can get. We can get a Craterhoof Behemoth. It's not likely, but we can still get it, which would be very, very poggers. Very solid. We got another Falconwrath Torturer, another Spore Crawler, Alchemist Greeting, a Blazing Torch, Drogskull Shieldmate, 2 and a white for a 2/3 human soldier with flash. Whenever it enters, other creatures you control get +0/+1 until end of turn. A Soul Guide Gryph, 4 and a white for a 3/4 Hippogriff Spirit with flying. Whenever it enters, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Another Ecstatic Awakener. Mistraven, 2 blue. Whenever it enters, return target creature to its owner's hand. Another Blood Artist. Dranu Corpse Trawler, 3 and a blue for a 1/1 zombie. Whenever it enters, you make a 2/2 zombie. And then a 2 and a black. Target zombie gets Death Touch until end of turn. Zombie, 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 zombie. Our rare is a Mare of Avabruck, 1 and a green for a 1/1 human advisor werewolf. Other human creatures you control get +1/+1, and it transforms into the Howlpack Alpha. Each other creature you control that's a werewolf or a wolf gets +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, you make a 2/2 wolf, and it flips back over into the mare. Not bad. Ooh, and a Retro Border Thermo Alchemist. Ooh. 1 red for a 0/3 human shaman with Defender. Taps to deal 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, untap this creature. I won't lie. Cards like this was a common back in Shadows. This got me into Constructed. Like, standard Magic, I love the idea of just having a bunch of instant sorceries and just pinging people to death. I just really adored this sort of thing. Towergeist, land, and a token. Can we Thermo Alchemist nowadays? I don't think they reprint. Well, I don't think they I guess we could do it in Pioneer, but it's At that point, you might as well be playing Phoenix, honestly. Towergeist, Gluttonous Guest, Brambleworm, another Abrade, another Deranged Assistant, Apothecary Geist, 3 and a white for a 2/3 spirit with flying. Whenever it enters, if you control another spirit, you get 3 life. Another Conduit of Storms. Pack Guardians, 2 green with flash. Whenever it enters, you may discard a land card. If you do, you make a 2/2 wolf. Fiery Temper, 1 red for an instant, deals 3 damage to any target. Madness is for 1 red, turns into a lightning bolt. Triskaidekaphobia, 3 and a black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you choose 1. Each player with exactly 13 life loses the game. Then each player gains 1 life. Or you do the same exact thing, except they gain 1 life. No, they gain 1 or lose 1. Honestly, this card kind of reads each player loses a life, because that's what you would want to use it for. And if your opponent happens to get to 13, you win the game. Nice. Reforge the Soul, 3 red for a sorcery. Each player discards their hand and then draws 7 cards, but you can miracle it for 1 and a red. So miracle is an interesting mechanic. Miracle, if it is the first card you draw during a turn, not just your turn, but any turn, if you draw a card and the first one is a miracle card, you can cast it for its miracle cost. We saw this with the new Animatu from Duskmourn in the Commander decks recently, and it's nice to have the actual miracles back. We got a retro-bordered Scorned Villager and a foil Vile Spawn Spider. The opening is going to get a little faster now that we've seen a couple of these uncommons and commons before. Got another Murderous Compulsion, another Eccentric Farmer, another Borrowed Hostility, Silent Departure, Eaten Alive. Cathar Commando was the first one here. 1 white for a 3/1 human soldier with flash. 1 and sacrifice this creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Not bad at all. Especially if we end up playing Tauren, because having a flash creature, just kind of like, we want our removal spells to be on creatures as well, so that he triggers and gets us more tokens. Let's put these, no, go back. There we go. Another Delver, another Mentor of the Meek, Uncaged Fury, 2 and a red for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains double strike until end of turn. Another Ig. Another Second Harvest. Not bad, but, you know, we already got the fancy one. Ooh. Old Border Young Wolf. Pretty. Another Abyssinian Priest. A Forest. And I think this is the transformed art of the new Arlen Cord. Arlen Embraced by the Moon. Let's go. We've got another Intrepid Provisioner, Ancestral Anger, Reckless Scholar, Siege Zombie, Inspector Thraben. It's Thraben Inspector. 1 white for a 1/2 human soldier. When this creature enters, investigate, which means you make a clue token. Not bad. Another Gather the Townsfolk, Midnight Scavengers, Vile Spawn Spider, another Mistraven, Groundskeeper, 1 green for a 1/1 human druid. 1 and a green, return target basic land card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, that's another legendary. Gisa and Geralf, 2 blue-black for a 4/4 human wizard. Whenever they enter, you mill 4 cards, and once during each of your turns, you may cast a zombie creature spell from your graveyard. As much as I love Gisa and Geralf, we need a lot of zombies to make that work, and Torrens lets us just cast any creature spell. So I'm still leaning towards Torrens for our commander, but Gisa and Geralf is really nice. Bordered Window is 3 generic mana for an artifact. Creatures attacking you get -1/-0. At the beginning of your instep, if you were dealt 4 or more damage this turn, exile this artifact. So, I'll be real. I thought this card was really bad back in the day. But Boarded Window can do a lot of work. Because, like, realistically, they need to be attacking you with 5 power on one creature just to get through and destroy this. If they're attacking with, like, 3 dudes, and they're all, like, 2/2s, they become 1/2s. And that still doesn't break the window. It's solid. I like it. A foil Gluttonous Guest, and a mountain, and a blood token. As for Commander, I don't know if we play it, but we might have to play it just by nature of, like, in these early days of the game, we don't have a lot of... We kind of have to play what we get. Cobbled Wings, another Duel for Dominance, Valdaran Duelist, another Imprisoned by the Moon, another Lunarch Mantle, another Dauntless Cathar, another Scorned Villager, another Morkrut Banshee, another Boarded Window, another Shrill Howler. Whoo! That's a good one. Hullbreaker Horror. 5 blue for a 7/8 Kraken Horror. Flash can't be countered, and whenever you cast a spell, you either bounce something or return a spell you don't control to its owner's hand. That is tempting, honestly. Makes Geese and Geralf a lot more palatable when you're just playing insane blue cards. The Dauntless Cathar and a Covetous Castaway. And a foil island to make up for not getting an island that, like, half the time. Alright. Hullbreaker Horror, eh? Ugh. That is hard to make choices for. It of the Horde Swarm, Butcher Ghoul, another Young Wolf, Hungry Ridge Wolf, Inspector Thraben, Handwer Watchkeep, Spider Spawning! 4 green for a sorcery. Create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach for each creature card in your graveyard, and flashes back for 6 and a black. That's a good card. We can't play it right now because we don't have a green and black legendary, but it's not bad. Rise from the Tides is 5 and a blue for a sorcery. Create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Love these sorts of effects. I don't know if we have enough instant sorceries that are good to make it work. Oh, hey, look, it's our guy, the Delver of Secrets. He is now the Aberrant Researcher, 2 and a blue for a 3/2 human insect with flying. Beginning of your upkeep, you mill a card. If that card was an instant or sorcery, he flips over into the Perfected Form. 5/4 with flying. And I'm sure this is where he stops. I'm sure he doesn't do anything more insane. He doesn't go any crazier with the influence of the Eldritch Moon. I'm sure nothing happens and he's fine. Right? 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 Anyway. Oh! Tameo! Tameo, Field Researcher, 1 green, white, blue for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. Tameo. +1, choose up to 2 target creature cards until end of turn. Whenever one of those creatures deals combat damage, you draw a card. -2, tap up to 2 target non-land permanents. They don't untap during their controller's untap step. Then for -7, you draw 3 cards you can emblem with. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. So, this is a great pickup. We can't play it. There's not a single Bant legendary in this set. And I don't think there's one in Aether Drift either. So, we can't play Tameo, period, for a while. Until they spoil a Bant legendary, we can't play this card. But we can play a Zealous Conscripts, I think. 4 and a red for a 3/3 human warrior. Haste. Whenever it enters, gain control of target permanent until end of turn. Untap that permanent. It gains haste until end of turn. Not bad. Ooh, and our retro rare is Heartless Summoning. 1 black for an enchantment. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, which is awesome. But creatures you control get -1/-1. Really, if you're playing this, you don't care about the bodies, you care about the discount, but that -1/-1 can be rough. And a foil Brambleworm. All right. Let's open up mythics that we can play. That would be nice. What did I do? How did that work? What? Huh? 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 Okay. Cool. Cool wrapper. We got a Spontaneous Mutation, an Olivia's Dragoon, a Festerhide Boar, Aldarin Epicure, Wretched Throng, another Cathar Commando, another Lunark Veteran, Lightning Axe, Lingering Souls, that's solid, 2 and a white for a sorcery, create 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, and flashes back for 1 and a black. Not bad. Moonlight Hunt, 1 green for an instant, choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf deals damage equal to its power to that creature. I don't think we have enough werewolves to make this work, but it's not bad. Another Memory Deluge, which is unfortunate, getting duplicate rares already. Hamlet Captain, and a Nebelgeist Herald. Don't like getting duplicate rares, honestly, because I like having options to work with in Commander. And getting duplicate rares basically means that rare doesn't exist in our pool, honestly. We got a Tragic Clip, an Abundant Growth, a Faithless Looting, a Makeshift Mauler, another Village Rites, a Vicinian Priest, a Hinterland Logger. It's 1 and a green for a 2/1 human werewolf that flips over into a 4/2 with Trample. Simple, easy, to the point. Got a Wandering Mind, another Nebelgeist Herald. Valorous Stance is a really solid pickup. 1 white for an instant. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn, or you destroy a creature with toughness 4 or greater. We had it last year from the Fallout set, but now we have it now. Speaking of rares, we got Thing in the Ice, 1 in blue for a 0/4 horror. Enters with 4 ice counters on it. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you remove an ice counter, and when there's no more ice counters, it turns into the Awoken Horror. It's a 7/8. Whenever it transforms, you bounce all non-horror creature tokens back to their owner's hand. Wait a minute. Because Hullbreaker Horror is a horror. That's gross. That's disgusting. That's not nice at all. Ooh, that's a good combo. Borrowed Hostility and a Town Gossip Monger to finish it off. We're almost done with the middle of the pack. We did get 2 legendaries from this pile as well, but it didn't really expand our options too much. It's all still 2 colors. Again, I would love to open an Edgar Markov, just to have an option for a 3-color deck at the start. But, you know, beggars and choosers and all that. We got an Epitaph Golem again. Trying to get things so that they don't fall over on me. Another Dawnheart Disciple, another Bloodmad Vampire, Essence Flex, Wretched Griff, Angelic Purge, Village Messenger. Demonic Taskmaster is 2 and a black for a 4/3 with flying, but you have to sacrifice a creature other than this creature. Now, I'm pretty sure if he's your only creature, you don't gotta sacrifice anything. It's not that bad. Edgar's Awakening. Maybe he's in this pack. Maybe. 3 black for a sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then if you discard this card, you may pay black. And if you do, you return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So, it's 5 mana for a reanimate, basically. But if you can't afford the reanimate part of it, you can discard it through a discard effect. And get something back from your graveyard as a little bit of a bonus. We have a Duskwatch Recruiter. It's 1 green for a 2/2 human warrior werewolf. You pay 2 and a green to look at the top 3 cards of your library. You can reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. You put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It's got the normal werewolf text to transform into the Crawlin' Horde Howler. Creature spells cost 1 less to cast, and it's got the normal werewolf transform text. And our rare, I think, Gravecrawler. 1 black for a 2/1 zombie, can't block, and you can cast this card from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. Not bad at all. Old Border Gaia Reach Bandit, and an Abrade. Man, we got the vampire tokens too. We just need Edgar. Come on, Edgar. Come to me, Edgar. Or Olivia. I'd settle for Olivia. Although, no one settles for Olivia. Olivia's... let's be real. Olivia is what zombies are all about. Crawl from the Cellar, Moldgraph Centipede, another Festival Crasher, Traveler's Amulet, Battlebound Geist, Bound by Moonsilver, Harvest Hand, Clear Shot, 2 and a green for an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Solid card. Another Stormkirk Occultist. Ulrich's Kindred, 2 red for a 3/2 wolf with trample, and 3 and a green. Target attacking wolf or werewolf gains indestructible until end of turn. Reminder that before Tolvar gave us an actual werewolf commander, Ulrich was the previous one, even though he didn't really care about werewolves. He was just an okay red-green legendary. It was before, like, I think it was before WotC really understood what Commander was about. So, like, when everybody was like, we want a werewolf commander, they read that as, oh, you want a commander who is a werewolf. Gotcha, fam. And then they made one of the worst received legendaries of all time. Speaking of not that, we have Arlen Cord. She is a red and green planeswalker. 2 red-green for an Arlen. 3 loyalty, +1 until end of turn. Up to 1 target creature gets +2/+2 and gains vigilance and haste. And for 0, you make a 2/2 green wolf creature token and transform her into Arlen Embraced by the Moon. +1 creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until end of turn. -1, she deals 3 damage to any target and you transform her back. -6, you get an emblem with creatures you control have haste and tap. This creature deals damage equal to its power to any target. Very, very, very good card. Old Border Cackling Counterpart, and a foil Mystic Retrieval, and a foil foil Island. Alright. Get some soda and caffeine in me. And some water so I don't die. Once again, sponsored by water. You need it to live. That is not up for debate. All right, let's go. Sort these a little bit so that everything doesn't fall over on me. Got a Sanitarium Skeleton, aim high, seize the storm, think twice, Wildfield Scarecrow, Evolving Wilds, Desperate Farmer, Fiend Hunter, Rally the Peasants, 2 and a white, for an instant, creature you control get +2/+0 until end of turn, flashes back for 2 and a red. Again, this is one of those cards that you need to be terrified of in Limited. If you draft this format, be terrified of this card if they cast it once, and if they are in white or red, you look at their graveyard every single time. Chalice of Life, 3 generic mana for an artifact. Tap to gain 1 life. Then if you have at least 10 or more life than your starting life total, it becomes the Chalice of Death. Tap, target player loses 5 life. Not bad, but you do need to be able to gain a lot of life to get there. Audric Lunarch Marshal, 3 and a white for a 3/3 human soldier. At the beginning of each combat, creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. If a creature you control has first strike, the same is true for Flying, Death Touch, Double Strike, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Skulk, Trample, and Vigilance. One of these keywords is not like the other. One of these keywords just doesn't belong. It's Skulk. Skulk hasn't come back in a long time because Skulk was kind of dumb. A retro border, It of the Horrid Swarm, and I'm not gonna lie, the colorless creature retro border looks weird to me, but that's not a bad thing because I think it's supposed to look weird. Like, that's like the point. Because it's supposed to be a bit unsettling. No, we got the Edgar art card! I want the Edgar actual card! No! We got another Geese's Bidding, Grapple with the Past, Neonate's Rush, Stitch Mangler, Soul Guide Griff, Harvest Hand. Ooh, a Blood Tithe Harvester. Scourge of Pioneer. Black-red for a 3/2 vampire. Whenever it enters, you make a blood token. You can tap to sacrifice this creature. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is twice the number of blood tokens you control. So -2/-2, into -4/-4, -6/-6, etc. Cobbled Lancer. 1 blue for a 3/3 zombie horse. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you gotta exile a creature card from your graveyard. Then you can pay 3 and a blue to exile this card from your graveyard to draw a card. Not bad. Another Fury Blade Vampire. In Ambition's Farmhand, 1 white for a 1/1 human peasant. Whenever it enters, you can search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Then if you have Coven, which means you have 3 creatures with different power, you pay 1 white to transform it into the Seasoned Cathar. It's a 3/3 with lifelink. Not bad. Traverse the Uvenwald is our rare 1 green for a sorcery. You search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. And then we have our first instance of Delirium, which we had back in Duskmorn. If there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, you instead can get a creature or a land card put into your hand. We got Summary Dismissal as our retro card. 2 blue for an instant. Exile all other spells and counter all abilities. It's basically just a really expensive counter spell, but sometimes it gets an extra triggered ability or something. Ooh, alternate art foil. Inspector Thraben. Very pretty. I love this so much. Wolf. Alright, we got Ambush Viper, Blood Petal Celebrant, Abundant Maw, Syncopate, Crusader of Odric, Midnight Scavengers, Infernal Grasp, very solid pickup. 1 black, destroy target creature, you lose 2 life. That's it. But also, very solid removal spell. News Constrictors, 1 green for a 2/2 with reach. Discard this card, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Not bad. Another Uvenwald Mysteries. Burning Vengeance, 2 red. Whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, this enchantment deals 2 damage to any target. We are probably not doing too much of that, but, you know, it's probably fine. Elder Deep Fiend, 8 mana for a 5/6 Eldrazi Octopus with Flash and Emerge for 5 blue. Whenever you cast a spell, tap up to 4 target permanents. That includes lands. This can just kind of blank someone's turn sometimes, and it's kind of funny to see. But it wasn't when I was playing this back in the day in Standard. I would play Mono Black Zombies, and my friend would go, "Hey, I'm going to flash in this Elder Deep Fiend during your upkeep and tap down all of your things." And I'd be like, "Oh, I lose." Got an Old Border Cathar Commando and a foil Cathar Commando. If you wanted a Cathar Commando, how about another Cathar Commando for the same price? Buy 2, get 1 free. Falconwrath Torturer, Fest Dryad Boar, Festival Crasher, Blazing Torch, Reckless Scholar, Drogskull Shield Mate, Conduit of Storms, Lightning Mauler, 1 in a red for a 2/1 Human Berserker with Soulbound, and as long as it's paired with another creature, both creatures have haste. That's cool. Subjugator Angel, 4 white for a 4/3 angel. Whenever it enters, you tap all creatures your opponents control. Which is more interesting than you think because it basically gives, around the table, free attacks. So you play it, you get a free attack on anybody. Whoever goes after you gets a free attack on either of your next 2 opponents. And then the guy who goes third gets to attack the guy who went like right before you. Gets to attack them for free. Can just end the game if you politic it right. Another Ghoulish Procession. Vanquish the Horde is really solid. 6 white for a sorcery. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in the battlefield. Destroy all creatures. Not bad. An Old Border Sumblewild Sage and a Murderous Compulsion. Steve Argyle is another one of those artists that I love. And it's like, yes, I know part of it is because he draws very pretty women. I know what I'm about. Gluttonous Guest, Brambleworm, a Braid, Deranged Assistant, Butcher Ghoul, Guardian of Pilgrims, Lunarch Veteran, Markov Waltzer, 2 red-white for a 1/3 vampire with flying and haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 2 target creatures you control, each get up +1/+0 until end of turn. So typically, he's attacking for 2/3 and flying, but he can also give 2 other things that couldn't really trade on the ground, the ability to trade on the ground. Another Corpse Trawler, Soul Cipher Board. Yes! It's no Edgar, but I love Olivia. 2 black-red for a 3/3 vampire with flying. 1 in red, Olivia Valderin deals 1 damage to another target creature. That creature becomes a vampire in addition to its other types, and she gets a +1/+1 counter. Then for 3 black, you gain control of target vampire for as long as you control Olivia Valderin. Very solid. Old Border of Alchemist Greeting. Whew, I think this card's money, actually. Old Border, foil, Laboratory Maniac. Not Old Border, full art. 2 blue for a 2/2 human wizard. If you would draw a card while you have no cards in your library, you win the game instead of losing. Amazing. And we have Soren. Alright, so we might not have gotten Edgar, but we have Olivia at least, and I love that. But unfortunately, I think, given what we opened so far, I think Gisa or Torrens is still our best bet in terms of legendaries to build around. Mostly because we didn't really open too many red or black rares. We mostly have opened like blue, like Jace is a blue rare, Elder Deep Fiend, Thing in the Ice, Memory Deluge, Hullbreaker Horror. Like, it's gonna be hard to argue for anything that's not like, oh, we got a Battle for Innistrad, but like, Ysing Geralf is kind of insane. And Torrens kind of is good with like whatever we build. He's just letting us put a bunch of tokens together and like jam people, punch people in the face with that. Now, if we do get Edgar, that kind of changes things. But we've already opened like 5 mythics. I think I'm fine. Like, I don't think we're opening anything too crazy from here on out. Hope. Foreshadowing is the narrative device. Ecstatic Farmer, Bard Hostility, Silent Departure, another Tragic Slip, Strength of Arms, Delver of Secrets, Butcher's Cleaver, 3 generic for an artifact equipment. Gets +3/+0. If it's a human, it has lifelink. And equips for 3. Meat is meat. True. Another Haunted Dead, another Triskaidekaphobia, another full art Thraben Inspector. Voice of the Blessed, white for a 2/2 Spirit Cleric. Whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. As long as there are 4 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has Flying and Vigilance. And as long as there are 10 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has Indestructible. Combos with the Vial that we got earlier. Oh, okay. Soren Imperious Broodlord. 2 and a black for a Planeswalker. I know it doesn't look like one, but it's a Planeswalker. +1 target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. If it's a vampire, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. +1, you can sacrifice a vampire. When you do, Soren deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. -3, you can put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. But I mean, like, we don't have that many big vampires, though. We have Olivia, but like Olivia would be in the command zone. Soren, you showed up way too late. Also, you got Banded Pioneer, so you're not as exciting. I'm sorry, bud. Got Aim High, Ancestral Anger, Tower Geist, Crawl from the Cellar, Apothecary Geist, Villagers of Estwald, Splinter Fright again, Uncaged Fury, Smoldering Werewolf, 2 red for a 3/2 Werewolf Horror. Whenever it enters, it deals 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures, and then you pay 6 to transform it into the Erupting Dreadwolf. Whenever it attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target. The flavor text, which is cool, is, "Never thought I'd see the day I'd be wishing to just see a plain old werewolf," says Raf Guile of the Quiver of Kessig. ... Heck, I'd settle for anything that even resembled a werewolf. And we got a second Soren. No! Where's your grandpa? No. We got a Westfell Abbey, which is really solid. It's a land, although it's technically a black card. We'll show you later. Taps out a colorless, pay 5 and tap to pay 1 life. You make a 1/1 white and black human cleric creature token. Pay 5, tap, sacrifice 5 creatures. Transform this land into Ormondal Profane Prince. It's a 9/7 with flying, lifelink, indestructible, and haste. Is technically a black card, though. We got an Asylum Visitor in the Old Border. And a foil Blood Artist. Very pretty. Another island and a zombie. We have 5 packs left. We opened 2 Sorens. I can't believe it. Would have been great if he didn't get, like, Turbo Band and Commander. I'm not Commander, Pioneer. Cobbled Wings, Duel for Dominance, Voldaren Duelist, Battleground Geist, Inspiring Captain, Hanover Watchkeep, Savage Alliance, Griff's Boon, Intangible Virtue, Covetous Castaway, Bloodhall Priest, 2 black-red for a 4/4 Vampire Cleric. Whenever it attacks or blocks, if you have no cards in hand, it deals 2 damage to any target, and you can madness it out for 1 black and a red. Not bad, not bad. Retro Bordered Crusader of Odric. Foil Chalice of Life. Howdy, Smidgen. Howdy, howdy. You just missed the most, one of the most painful things that I have opened in my entire life. Back-to-back packs had Soren and Soren, which is great, but he got banned in Pioneer, so he's kind of rough. And we don't have an Edgar yet, so we can't put any vampires into play. It's very unfortunate. But we persevere. Lunarch Mantle, It of the Horrid Swarm, Murderous Compulsion, Young Wolf, Apothecary Geist, Evolving Wilds, Scorned Villager, another Scab, Demon Male Halberg, Groundskeeper, Angel Fire Ignition, 1 red-white for a sorcery, put 2+1 counters to target creature. It gains Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste until end of turn. Flashbacks for 2, a red and a white. Not bad. Old Border Pack Guardian, and a foil Borrowed Hostility. Like, to be fair, this box has been kind of nuts, but 2 Sorens is kind of rough. Hungry Ridgewolf, Syncopate, Olivia's Dragoon, Spore Crawler, Bloodhair Epicure, Bound by Moonsilver, Desperate Farmer. Morbid Opportunist is a really good pickup. 2 black for a 1/3 human rogue. Whenever 1 or more other creatures die, you draw a card, and it only triggers once each turn. Another Somber Wild Sage. Archghoul of Thraben, 2 black for a 3/2 zombie cleric. Whenever this creature or another zombie you control dies, look at the top card of your library. If it's a zombie card, you can reveal it and put it in your hand. If you don't, put it into your graveyard or into your hand. Oh, no. If you don't put it into your hand, you put it into the graveyard. Okay. Hermit Druid, 1 and a green for a 1/1 human druid. 1 green tap. Reveal cards from the top of your library to reveal a basic land card. Put the land into your hand and the rest to your graveyard. But we don't have anything in green that wants the graveyard. Aw, man. Old Border Crypt of the Fragment, foil Geyside Snare, and a foil Swamp. 2 packs left. Let's see what I'm gonna get. We got a Wretched Throng, Eaten Alive, Abundant Growth, Blood Petal Celebrant, Makeshift Mauler, Guardian of Pilgrims, a Lantern Bearer, a regular old Thermo Alchemist, Geyside Snare, Town Gossipmonger, Spell Queller, 1 white blue for a 2/3 spirit with flash and flying. Whenever it enters, exile target spell with mana value 4 or less. Whenever it leaves the battlefield, the exiled card The owner may cast the exiled card. I love Spell Queller. I love Blue-Eyed Spirits. We didn't get any Blue-Eyed Legendary, so we can't really play it. Crawl from the Cellar. Silent Departure. Alright. Alright, everybody. Last pack magic. We want Edgar. 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 He's here. He's here. I'm calling it now. Okay, we got a Village Rites, Epitaph Golem, Moldgraph Millipede, Faithless Looting, Crusader of Odric, Hinterland Logger, Faith Unbroken. I think this is the first time we've seen this one. 3 and a white for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. Whenever it enters, exile target creature an opponent controls until this aura leaves the battlefield. +2/+2. Removes the card. Not bad. Another Galvanic Juggernaut. Another Summary Dismissal. And a Storm Carved Coast. Although, I think how it is collated, I think a mythic would appear behind it. Wedding Announcement. It's not bad, but 2 and a white for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter on this enchantment. If you attack with 2 or more creatures this turn, you draw a card. Otherwise, you make a 1/1 human creature token. Then, if this enchantment has 3 or more invitations on it, you transform it into the Wedding Festivity. Creatures you control get +1/+1. A Retro Border Uvenwald Mysteries and a Hamlet Captain. Womp womp. Okay, so no Edgar, which sucks. However, we did get some bangers. Let me show y'all what rares we got. And then we'll see about building a deck from this. Put these off to the side so I can show y'all the sick pulls that we got. I have formed a wall of wrappers. Yeah, so in terms of legendaries, I'm just going through the actual rares to see if I missed any. No legendary creatures here. Oh! Bruna, but we did not get a Gisela, which is unfortunate. In terms of like real, like things that we could realistically play, we have Olivia, who is fine on her own, but I don't think we have enough support for her to work. Gisa and Geralf, Torrens, and Avacyn. Keep in mind, Avacyn is technically red-white because her backside is red. And Thalia, Bruna, and Odric can go in either of these as well. So, here's the thing. Let's take a look at the rares that we got in different colors. In white, we have a Wedding Announcement. Voice of the Blessed, Vanquish the Horde is very good. We got a Tamiyo that we can't play right now. Storm Carved Coast, we can't play that right now. Spell Queller, we can't play it. Angel Fire Nation, we can't play. Well, let's just go through here. White. Restoration Angel's not bad. I think that's all for white. In blue, we have Thing in the Ice, Memory Deluge, Elder Deep Fiend, Hullbreaker Horror's huge, Chase is huge, Deadeye Navigator's huge, Mausoleum Wanderer's fine, it's playable. Next up, we have black. And I think we have a lot of black rares. We have Sorin, Gravecrawler, Heartless Summoning. I don't know if we're going to play a Heartless Summoning. It's a little bit specific, but Distended Mindbender is not bad. Trigger of Perdition's hilarious. Battle for Innistrad's amazing. Not as many up. Westvale Abbey as well. Not as many as I thought there was. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Hakude. I will need to look through here. I think we have some things with ETB effects. We only have Gisa for that, but I think we do have... We did open up... At minimum, we have this corpse trawler, which lets us get a bunch of zombies. We do have Angel Fire Ignition for Avacyn. We have Bloodhawk Priest for Olivia. We can't play Arlen right now. Tori lets us play. We got Bop, Mirror of Avabrook. Metallic Mimic can be played in anything, but I think it would mainly be in... So can Hellvault. Probably end up playing Hellvault. Can't play Galvanic Iteration. Decimator of Provinces is a really, really big reason I want to play Torrens. Second Harvest, Falcon Wrath Gorger, and these are all duplicates. A lot of green. So I think we can safely say we can take out Avacyn and Olivia and the Bloodhall Priest. Not because I think that either of those cards are... I don't think these are bad cards per se. I just think that we don't have the depth in our rares, at least, to play either of these. And especially because Torrens lets us make a bunch of tokens, and Gisa and Geralf are just lets us play blue and black, which are where a lot of our solid pools are. I think that's where we're at there. So we do have to purge these red rares, unfortunately. So we can also purge all of these red cards, which sucks because Faithless Looting is one of those. Unfortunate. So let's see here. On the plus side for Torrens, like, let's actually do a zombie count for Gisa and Geralf, because, like, if a lot of our blue rares are just, like, playing the good blue cards, we can wait on that. No Trans Girl, Olivia, Commander deck. No, unfortunately. Like, I would love to, but she's just not good enough right now. It is possible later on we get more red-black cards. Like, Olivia actually goes really... The problem is, like, I don't think she really fits well with anything in Aether Revolt, really. She is definitely going to be a very solid, just good card. We did pull a Labman. We did pull an alternate art, actually, Foil Laboratory Maniac, which is very fancy. However, the problem there is that Labman needs us to draw a lot of cards, and we don't have a lot of things that draw a lot of cards. So let's take a look at zombies real quick. What zombies we have access to. I don't think any of these are zombies. Nope. Come back. We've got Gravecrawler. We do have Recursion. But they only mill 4 at a time, though. And Deadeye Navigator is 6 mana. Keep in mind, we don't have a lot of ramp either. Green gives us access to a lot of ramp as well. I say a lot, but it gives us like Somber Wild Sage and some of the werewolves. Blade Stitch, Scab. Forbidden Alchemy is a very good reason to play Gisa. And Geralf. We are looking for zombie cards because it doesn't really matter. We've got Archghoul, which is good. We've got Haunted Dead, which also works with the Deadeye Navigator. Infernal Grasp is actually a very big reason to play Gisa and Geralf, because just having solid removal like that is very, very good. This man's is a skeleton, not a zombie, which is unfortunate. Butcher Ghoul, but I don't want to be playing that. Siege Zombie isn't bad. We're running. I think that's all of the. Yeah, there's not that many black zombies. Any sack outlets? Nothing big that we've seen. So, we don't have a sack outlet per se, but we do have Heartless Summoning and a Gravecrawler, which means infinite death triggers for something like Blood Artist, but then Blood Artist ties to the Heartless Summoning. We do have Labman. We have Makeshift Mauler, Wretched Throng. We're not playing unless we have we are held at gunpoint. Deranged Assistant actually also helps us mill, so that's something to consider. Cobbled Lancer's fine. Wretched Griff also lets us nope, that's a cast trigger. Not good. Where's all the zombies? Stitched Mauler? Yep. Mangler, there we go. Yeah. Huh. We do have a Village Rites. We have a couple of them. And a Morbid Opportunist isn't bad. Let's keep these all together. So here's what I'm thinking. Here's my thought process here. Gisa and Geralf needs a lot specifically to go well with them. And I think it might be better off saving this for later on in the year. When we can go okay, we have a lot of solid staples here. We have Village Rites. And then we can pull out Lab Band when we can consistently mill our whole deck out. Because I don't think we have a lot of the problem is if we mill out our Lab Man and it gets exiled from our graveyard, that's basically our entire game plan just gone. We can fall back on shenanigans like Westvale Abbey or Tree of Perdition, but that is very sketchy. Whereas with Torrens, all I have to do is cast dudes and then attack with said dudes. The problem with Gisa and Geralf after Aether Drift specifically is that most of the zombies in there are white and black because it's Amonkhet zombies. But they might be fine. Yeah, because the thing about Torrens is, one, I can just play these dumb cards. But also we get to play Vanquish the Horde, which is a solid Wrath effect. Wedding Announcement, which is just a standard buff effect. Restoration Angel, which is another blink effect, but it's not as consistent as Deadeye Navigator, but, what can you do? It also lets us play, Tireless Tracker, A Natural Growth, Second Harvest, Decimator of Provinces, Dismayer of Avabruck, Traverse the Uvenwald, fix... I think we get to play more good cards with Taurens. Not more good cards. I think it's different good cards. But also, Taurens as a game plan just lets us... We have one box, one set to work with at this point in time. I think just playing Taurens lets us not think about it until we get a couple sets in, and then we can go back to what we have from Innistrad to see what we got. That's what I love about Progmander, honestly. It lets us start from a... It basically lets us start from a collection. And one, I like that you guys get to watch me throughout the entire process and like talk about it, and like we can build decks like this. Like, here's the thing. A lot of these cards we can't play because they are in the wrong colors or they're in a combination that we can't play. But later in the year, we might be able to. Who knows? So, let's get to the actual building. So, what I like about building for Progmander, at least at the start of the year, is we get to start with the good cards, and then we get to progressively say, I guess, as we go deeper. So first off, let's start with some ramp that we have access to. We have a Cryptolith Fragment. We have Evolving Wilds, very solid. Let's see. We have this Wildfield Scarecrow, which I think is fine. Traveler's Amulet. Again, these aren't ramp, but they are sources of mana, which is what we want to aim for. Alright, chat. What are we thinking? Do we want Retro Border Cryptolith Fragment or Foil Cryptolith Fragment? Let me know while I look through this other stuff. I think maybe Soul Separator might be fine. It's not ramp though, so we're gonna put that off to the side for now. None of this makes mana, unfortunately. So we put these off to the side. Now for green, we've got Somberwald Sage. We've got a Scorned Villager. We've got... Obviously, we got to replace it with a retro. I think we can... I think we play Grapple with the Past as a pseudo ramp spell to try to get like a land back. Retro Border Scorned Villager. We're actually gonna have a lot of retro bordered stuff, honestly. I think that's all we've got here. I don't think there's any ramp in white, but we can see. Actually, there is one. We do have this Ambitious Farmhand. That's kind of ramp. Gets us a land. Make sure that we have a land drop. And I think that's it. I think that's all we have in terms of ramp. Yep. I think that is it. Yep, that's it. That's all we got. That's all we got, chat. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of ramp. Wait, actually. 7, 8. Traverse the Uvenwald can be ramp. I don't think we got any green-white multicolored cards. Yeah, we didn't. It's all red-white. And let's dig through Yep, that's it. Okay. So we've got ramp. This is our ramp package. Our ramp package. Again, I really love this part. I love the, like, concessions that we have to make here. And considering I don't think there's a single commander set this year, as far as we know, I don't think we get, like, we will never get a Soul Ring. I don't think we'll ever get an Arcane Signet. I think most of our ramp is going to be, like, 3-mana, like, rocks that in the standard sets. I don't think we're getting anything super fancy this year. Like, we know the Marvel and the Final Fantasy sets are coming out. We know there's another secret Universes Beyond set at the end of the year. There's Tarkir. There's what's the other one? The space set. I don't think there's any, like, Commander stuff. Nothing, like, designed for Commander, which is going to be refreshing. Now, I want to talk about this real quick because I don't know, like, what the thought process was. Final Fantasy, yeah. I can't wait to equip Spider-Man with Lightning's Gunblade. Okay, I know you're kind of taking the piss, Midgen, but that sounds amazing to me. That sounds like right up my alley. That sounds awesome. Also, I don't think hers is technically a Gunblade. I don't think so. No, hers is like some weird, like, I don't think it's a gun. I think it's like another weird weapon combination thing. I think it's like a whip sword. No, that's somebody else. Anyway. So one thought process I had was we open up collector's boosters, which I thought of it be like, it's a shorter opening and has less cards, but they typically have more cards as like a way to compensate for it. And like, not more cards in the packs, but like, it is a giant pocket knife. And I do like me pocket knives. It's a weird way to like, you get more legendaries, I think, typically, because legendaries tend to be rare. You get more rares. And it makes the builds more restrictive at the start. But as like a opposite side of it, like, we are definitely going to have a playable deck out of this box. Is it going to be good? Probably not. But it'll be playable. Collector's Boosters opens up the opportunity for it to not be playable, but have more exciting pulls. And have, like, spicier stuff to do with. I don't know. I think most of y'all said that, like, you like the play booster boxes because there's more packs, and you would prefer to see a playable deck get built, but I don't know. It's something that's been plaguing my brain. So we have 8 cards here. We have Taurens. And we're definitely playing Thalia. Because I love Thalia. And I love Magali's art. She keeps making pretty stuff and making the best art so far. I think in this case, that means we're definitely running like a lot of lands. How many retro bordered lands did we get? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not bad. Not bad. In B. I will extenuate it and add to it from the stuff we got last year. Or, oh no, they're not next year. I'll have to find some basic lands and put them in here. Let's go through what thing. So we want to, because of Taurens, we want to prioritize creatures. So if there's an opportunity to include like an instant or sorcery or a creature, we definitely want to go creature first. So for example, They are human soldiers, so we definitely want to play Hamlet Captain. We definitely want to play like Ambush Viper because like it's technically a removal spell if somebody starts attacking us. Spore Crawler, draws a card. Pack Guardian. It's a 4/3 with flash. Can like surprise get another token. Because we're playing a lot of creatures, Splinter Fright gets better. In the future, if you get a bunch of non-basics and a good Simic/Shield like Hermit Druid plus that. Okay, so we do have Hermit Druid. Absolutely. The problem is we would also need we need a lot of non-basics, like a lot. Now I say that, but Aether Drift does have a lot of them. And there's a lot of sets this year. I don't know if we can get there. I'll definitely give it a try. Oh, we have a Duskwatch Recruiter. I don't want to play Groundskeeper. Moldgraph Millipede's probably fine. It's a big boy. Gotta go with a Retro Border Hamlet Captain. Oh, definitely. We're gonna be playing Hermit Druid in this deck, like just to have the option for it. I think we play the Shrilled Howler because it gets us tokens as well. Replace the Spore Crawler with a foil one because we gotta. There is a Spider-Man set. It's Across the Spider-Verse, which I'm still crossing my fingers and holding out hope for that we get a Squirrel Girl, because Squirrel Girl is technically tied to Spider-Man, and that would be like the one chance I get. Lumber Knot we can probably play as well. Ghoul Tree as well. It's a zombie, but like, you know, 7 creatures probably won't be too hard in this one. Yeah, we just know that like it is a Spider-Man set, but it's like the Spider-Verse. So like, I think people like, a lot of people are like, well, I don't think there's enough of Spider-Man to like carry a set. And I'm like, one, Spider-Man is Marvel. Like, I'm surprised the MCU lasted as long as it did without Spider-Man. Because, like, Spider-Man is, like, the Marvel character. Like, Captain America might be the first Avenger, but Spider-Man basically is Marvel. But also we have Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, there's Penny Parker, there's so many alternate universes, there's the Venom stuff, like, people should not worry. They have plenty of stuff to work from for Spider-Man. Plenty. I think we play Metallic Mimic and we get, we name Human off of it. I don't want to play the Hell Vault for no reason other than I don't want to play the Hell Vault. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Is this an angel? Angel or human? We've got plenty of humans. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. Let's go through the white cards. We've got Crusader of Odric is definitely going to go in there. Got to get the Retro Border one. Intangible Virtue is solid. Griff's Boon is probably fine. Thraben Inspector's good. Lunark Veteran's good. Subjugator Angel gets in there. Cathar Commando. Inspector Thraben. Fiend Hunter. Angelic Purge. Valorous Stance. Dauntless Cathar probably is fine enough. Mentor of the Meek, definitely. Cathar's Call is solid. Replace that with the foil one. Actually, no, I think I got an old border. Is that old border? No. But I do think we got an old border Lunark Veteran. Did we get that, or did I open that in draft last night? I can't remember. Everything is bleeding together. Draft last night. Draft last night. Hi, Annie. Hi. You missed the opening, unfortunately, but that's the cool thing about me doing this on YouTube. It should save this all as a video, so if you missed any bit of it, you can just watch it again. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm pretty sure that is all the cards that I want to play. Therefore, we now must get into the bad cards that I do not want to play. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. We've got... Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That we're still working on that. I think this is 10 as well. 4, 8, 9, 10. Let's do this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. These spots are reserved for 10 lands, which you will work out the numbers of later. So we basically only have 20 more picks of cards, and we have 6 already here. So let's start looking for jank. I do think we want... Cobbled Wings is good. I will gladly take that. Let's see. This is... Humans have Menace. Not too bad. I did talk up Boarded Window a lot, but I think I would be more content with a Demon Mail Halberg, since we're making a lot of tokens. Abundant Growth just kind of cycles itself. And Clear Shot, I think I saw that one. Definitely good. Just as a removal spell. 3, 6, 9, 10. So now we have 10 cards left. Uvenwald Mysteries, I definitely think we want to include, just because it gives us an out for the sacrificing of tokens and stuff. The clues and such. Didn't we get... yeah, there we go. We got a retro bordered one. Gotta go with the retro border. And theoretically, we will be milling cards, so maybe... We definitely don't put in Groundskeeper. Groundskeeper's a little rough. I don't think we put in Brambleworm. 7/6 with Trample is just kind of dirtly. And we have other outlets for stuff like that. This is the part of Progmander where it gets really sketchy, where we start going, oh, a 4-mana 2/2 is fine, right? We can play that. Smile. I think Gather the Townsfolk is fine. Like 2 1/1s is okay. Strength of Arms is fine, but if we do that, I want to put in some more equipment. So we probably put in Harvest Hand. And the Butcher's Cleaver, just to have some more options there. Don't think I want to really play anything else. We could play the Soul Separator. That's not too bad. Especially with a second Harvest. It of the Horrid Swarm is probably fine enough. Gives us some tokens to work with. We want to put in the Chalice for the voice, and you know, maybe nobody attack. Actually, no, that's a solid secondary game plan. We've played this Chalice of Life and a boarded window to discourage people from attacking us. And there are some timelines where we get Voice of the Blessed and Chalice of Life, and we just get to keep going +1/+1/+1 this whole time. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Mayhaps. Duel for Dominance is fine. It's a fight spell. And I think we go for... maybe Young Wolf, since it's just 1 mana? Like, Young Wolf at 1 mana is probably fine, right? Like, it's not terrible. 1 mana, triggers Torrens. What am I saying? That's kind of turbo garbage. There's got to be another card we can play, right? Got to be something else. Are you playing Abundant Growth to draw a card? Yep, we already got one. Maybe the Faith Unbroken? Just as like our... well, if it's a removal spell, we might be in trouble there. Soulgride Griff for graveyard interactions? Bound by Moonsilver is not bad. It's kind of bad. Am I missing any rares in here that we might have missed here? We could play the Hell Vault. Play the Hell Vault. It's not a good idea. Hell Vault's kind of bad. Can't play Lingering Souls. Can't play Avacid. I guess it's Young Wolf. Or the Hinterland Logger. Maybe Aim High. Or maybe it is the Brambleworm. Like, Brambleworm technically is a 7/6. Just kind of kills people. I think we have a foil one, which we gotta play. Gotta play the fancy versions. Bam. Yep. Well, this looks like it's probably the deck for now. Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 10. Okay, and we've got the lands. let me go get my basics and we'll sleeve this up and I will do some talking with you guys. Let me go get my basics from last year. I'll be right back. All right, we have the basics from this year of Progmander. Think you need anything with big power to trigger all the training tokens? True. So the Brambleworm does that typically. Not bad. Let's see, we've got... What are these? These are lands? Yeah, these are all the lands that we had. Let's see. What split do we want of lands? Come on, chair. Work with me here. We've got white card, green card, green card, green card, green card, white card, green card, green card, green card, green, 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 white, white, green, 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 white, green. I'm thinking we might have a majority of green cards. These are all white cards, but they're all one cost. Green, white, white, green, 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 white. White, 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 green, green. Okay. So we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 23 versus 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 25, 26, and unnatural growth is in there as well. So probably an even split. Move down 3 plains, move up 3 forests. Probably seems fine. So 17 plains and 23 forests. Cutting 1 plain since we have a searcher for the plains. And we have Evolving Wilds. We definitely want a lot more green because we want to cast a lot of our green cards more, and a natural growth is 1,000,000. And is a natural growth each or is it target? I think it's each, right? Unnatural growth. Each creature you control. Yeah, definitely want to be able to cast that card. Let's see, we got 1, 2. Everything. 3, 6, 7. So we need 10 from here. Let's go 3. 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. All right, so that should be 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. No, we said 16 because we can cut down for the evolving wilds. That's 17, so we need 23 forests. 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We can place a couple of these matching Bloomborough ones with some Foundations ones. Yep. Remember they're really double adding whatever it is at the time. Yep. That we're very real about. And it's gonna be, they're gonna be real big. Ideally they're gonna be real big. That's the plan, at least. 5, 15, 20, 23, 40 lands, magic cards, magic. 100 card deck, let's go. All right, let me put, I will organize these later. I don't want to make y'all sit through an organizing card stream. Unless y'all want to see that. I might stream on YouTube more. It's kind of chill on here. Also, people are talking more on here. I don't know why people are talking more on YouTube, but hey, I am not complaining. I did last year have like a whole binder for like the rares and stuff, but like it is much easier for me to find things if I just take these and put them in the box that they were in so that I know what sets they're in. And then put that off to the side. I can just pull that up later whenever I need to, and they're there. All right. Gonna pull out my custom sleeves that I got of me and my logo. Fancy me. I don't know if this is 100. I just grabbed a bunch of them. So, while I sleeve this up and hope... Actually, let's count 100 so I don't mess up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does this count as Cocomelon? Like a anime lady with big bouncy hair counting? That's Cocomelon, right? That's what that means? I think I miscounted there because I was joking around. Doing some he's and some haws. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finger family. Cocomelon was decidedly, like, obviously it was before everybody's time. Like, there are no children watching me, I don't think. But it was also before, like, anybody that I knew, like, my sisters had grown out of it at that time. No one that I knew was, like, raising kids when, like, that became popular. And I might sound like an old woman shouting at clouds here, but like, I don't know. I really hope that isn't what's passing for like children's entertainment nowadays. Like, I heard a lot about Bluey and how good that is, and that gives me a little bit of hope that like things are not as bad for children's media. But like, I don't know. When I was a kid, we had it good growing up. A lot of good quality PBS kid programming. And from what I know, that has been mostly defunded, which kind of sucks. Like, I think Sesame Street, like, nobody renewed Sesame Street. And like, come on. It's Sesame Street. You can't do that to Sesame Street. Anyway, there's 100. So let's get to sleeving. So, a couple things about Progmander this year. If you'll recall, last year, I had a bunch of different decks that I had built, and I had 2 together. They don't want kids to have PBS nowadays. It makes them too smart. So, as, like, I guess in relation to that, one of the things that I always thought about was, like, what if I did that, like, what if I did some Cocomelon-ass shit, but for kids programming? Like, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a teacher. Like, that was, like, the one, like, I really wanted to be a teacher. However, my mom was a teacher. And my mom, bless her heart, but, like, she wanted me to have a job that paid well. So when I went to college, I was like, okay, I'll go into like business or something. And that sucked. Didn't want to do business. So I went into like, when I was going through it, I called it the, like, it wasn't what this class was about. It was more about filmmaking in general. But a lot of it was how to be a YouTuber dot class. Because like, it was like, how do you work Premiere? How do you work a camera? What is a good composition? Like, it was like film school, but like not... It was film school, but like it was not dedicated to film. Like, my class did not have the funding to be a film school. It was basically just like the practical basics of it. Which was fine. That was like what that class needed to be, basically. So, TLDR, I did not go into being a teacher. However, as like I have grown older and I've seen like basically the decline of children's programming, part of me was like, well, what if I made YouTube videos that were like kids programming, but like how I remembered it? I've also thought about doing basically like the dumb stuff I do on here on the Magic channel, like with like characters and voices and stuff like that, but like in a more general sense, not specifically related to Magic the Gathering. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas and not a lot of time to execute all of it. But that's just one thought process I've had. Anyway, getting my brain back on track. Last year, I had like a bunch of different decks that I was building with Progmander. I think this year I'm limiting myself to one deck, mostly so that I have more time to build other decks. Like I have other decks that I want to build and play test. Like, you know, with like my real normal collection and stuff. And that's basically it. Like, I'll have this one, I'll play test and build around it, and if I want to swap it out, I will just swap out the entire thing. Like, I'm not going to have, like, a bunch of different decks built at the same time. I will also note, if you are going to MagicCon Chicago, your girl is going as a member of the New Perspectives, which sounds like an awesome band name, but it's actually just like it's part of like it's like the grant program that they have to get people, Wizards has to get people who are weirdos and freaks over there. That's a lie. That's not how it is. But it's like, it's for people who are marginalized and, less case, which getting picked for it and then having Wizards get rid of the VML feels weird. It feels really weird, y'all. Like being a part of like a grant program that is supposed to increase the voices of marginalized communities within Magic the Gathering, and then Wizards cutting out a big competitive league system that is supposed to be doing the same thing. It feels weird to be on like in that like regard. Like to be in this program, but like the people who made that very good thing, it feels weird. But that's how a lot of things are nowadays. Feels a little weird. But I will be going, and I will be bringing, not this deck technically, because by the time I am going to MagicCon Chicago, Aether Drift will have released, and you will have seen a opening of a box of Aether Drift, and we build whatever deck comes out of that. Will it be Taurens? Who knows? I don't know. I don't think I have any streams lined up, so I don't know if there's any like any stuff planned that I can play this on. But if I can get it in front of an audience, I will definitely attempt to do that. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with Progmander last year, so I'm glad that we'll be able to do it again. I do want to try changing it up. I think 1 year, not this year, like I would need a lot of time and planning to make this work. I want to try getting a bunch of either other creators or a bunch of other people I know IRL to do the same thing with me. Like we have different collections. We take these boxes and we open up off to the side. We make sure that like the collections are sequestered from the others, but everybody builds different decks with different boxes that they built. Be really interesting. Although I think if we do something like that, it would definitely be, I would probably have to find a way to do it online because like, that would be the only way you can really track it is like having people open up like simulated boxes and stuff, but then that's not as exciting as opening them up IRL. I don't know. A peek inside my twisted mind. The random ideas that I have every day. All right, we're almost done sleeving this up. What else did I want to talk about? There was something. Going to MagicCon, I will be doing... I definitely think I'm doing the mystery event. I'm going to try to make it to like the live Commander shows because I like the shows more. And I want to try to meet people. So if you are going, do not be afraid to say hi to my meat suit. I will definitely say hi and will probably not explode into 1,000 tiny eyeballs. You don't know. Non-zero chance, but you know. It probably won't happen. And if you... My biggest thing is like I want to meet like other creators and stuff and like do stuff with them in the future, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to talk to people and be like, hey, I would like to talk shop with you, but I don't know how to approach that as a normal person because I have the tism. And the tism makes it really hard to interact with people. That's the end of that sentence. It just makes it really hard to interact with people. Okay, we are one short. So did I just get an extra sleeve or did I mess something up? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 6, 9, 10. 3, 6, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 6, 9, 10. 3, 6, 9, 10. 3, 6, 9, 10. 3, 6, 9, 10. 3, 6, 9, 10. Okay, I just grabbed an extra sleeve. Alright, now let's shuffle this bad boy up and see how it looks to play. But before I do that, let's see if we opened any of the tokens necessary for this deck. I know we need humans, I think we need wolves. What do we get here? Let's see. We got Clue. Eldrazi Horror, I don't think we need that one. Human Soldier, I think we need that one. Eldrazi Horror Human Soldier, I don't think we need that one, but just in case. I don't think we need Zombie. I don't think we need Blood and Clue. Might need a second Clue. We got Tutu Wolf. Good. Think we need that one. Vampire. Spirit Human. Spirit Human. I don't think we got any of the training ones. I think I might have opened one last night, though, at draft, so I will probably check. Let me go check my bag for that one. So, before I go any further, we've got got another planes. Yeah. I just like using the stuff from the set. I don't really mind it being like from other, like the lands being from outside the pack. I just like the basics to be from the sets that I've opened. Let's see here. Where are my tokens? Got Tree Folk, Rin, Vampire, Human Soldier, Eldrazi, Swamp, Vampire. Darn. Just saying, y'all. I had some sick pulls last night. From 2 Collector's Booster boxes, we got a Second Harvest, a Foil Cultivator Colossus, a Foil Eldritch Evolution, Rooftop Storm, Garruk Relentless, and Movie Poster Meathook Massacre. Collector's Boosters, when they hit, they hit. That dopamine be real. Now we'll put these swamps and islands in the pile. And we will replace a plains with the one from the set. Boop. So let's see how this deck performs. This is what I like doing when I've built a commander deck. I like taking it real quick, giving it a souffle, and seeing if we can like play the game. Get a couple hands, see if it like plays. Something I wanted to talk about. I like having the option for you guys to like look at like Progmander stuff and like take a look at when I don't have a video up about it and like look at like a Mox field or something. But putting every card that I've opened feels kind of cringe. So would you guys prefer to have just the rares and mythics with like tags for like the legendaries and stuff, along with like, you know, relevant uncommons and commons like Traveler's Amulet I think is relevant, Labman, Infernal Grasp, that sort of thing. Cards that I think are relevant, at least. Would that be preferable? Or do you just like tuning into the streams and being like, hey, do you have this card? And I can be like, oh, I don't know. And I check through the pile. I don't know. I don't know which one is preferable. Anything that isn't draft chaff. That's fair. Because like it's not really fun to build from draft chaff except for like the first couple sets when it's kind of like funny. When you're like, okay, well, what are we classifying as draft chaff? Because like technically, Cryptolith, the Cryptolith fragment is draft chaff, but it's also a 3-mana rock. So where are we? What are we classifying as draft chaff? I know what you mean though, where it's like stuff that's like draft chaff is like the 5-mana 6/6 dumb stuff that doesn't really do anything. That also isn't a rare. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. We've got Spore Crawler. I have nothing to fill this slot with. Stuff. That's fair. This hand, it's not great, but it's probably fine. We go, we draw for turn. We get a Tireless Tracker. That's fire. We go Forest into the Traverse the Ovenwald. We get a Plains real quick. I thought I cut that Plains. Did I not? Nope. I guess I put 2 in there. Yep. Am I excited for anything in Aether Drift yet? I am excited for so many things in Aether Drift. Like, first off, there's a Chandra. I am immediately insanely hyped for any set with a Chandra in it. Like, just phenomenally. Like, give me Chandra, put her in my veins immediately. But there's a Cetra's really cool. The new Samut is really cool. Loot's awesome. My brain just saw the like in terms of like stuff for me personally, the backup zombie commander, that the white and the black one. Thanks, Wizards. I just put out a video on companions, and you made a card that like would have been an instant include for the Luris part of the companion video. Gay Nissa card. Which one? Like, there's a lot of them. And the Nissa that I know of is in the Commander deck. But there's also Cetra's really cool. All the artifacts are cool. I love the theming. I love the idea of like a death race being like this big thing across the plains. Aether Drift, her flavor. Yeah, that track. Yeah, Chandra is my world. That made my heart just Anyway, second turn we draw. We get a forest. Play the plains. We cry. We play the plains. Winter's new card is also really good. I can fix him. Good, you can have him. I hate Winter. Rolling that back. I think his cards are cool. I don't like him as a character. He makes me very angry. I don't like his personality. Here we untap. We draw. We start off by playing the Tireless Tracker, and we get a dude. But we also get a clue, because we're about to play a land. We play this forest. We don't attack with Torrens because we are terrified. We draw, get another forest. We've drawn nothing but lands, really, but that's probably fine. We play a forest, we get a second clue token. I think we lead off with a wedding announcement because it just gives us value. Yeah, and let's just crack a clue if we want. We trundle in, get tokens on these guys. Crack a clue if they try to block. Yeah, this is fine. Let's try another hand, and then I'll probably just wrap up the stream. We'll be good to go there. Yeah, I was going to ask, y'all asked if I was excited about anything in Aether Drift. What has you guys excited for Aether Drift? I think it is a bit more complex than the Mario Kart / wacky racers that people are attributing it to, but, you know, I'm a weirdo. But the story looks really cool. Really enjoyed it. The mechanics look really cool. Like, speed seems really neat. Like, I was wondering how they were going to translate speed. Because, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has, like, they've tried a couple of different ways to manifest, like, speed counters and the like from, like, 5Ds and the likes there. Having an instant speed board wipe as an activated ability is insane. True. That guy is terrifying. I hope I don't open him because that would be really good for Progmander. Progmander, the thing about it in the early couple of sets is that we are really, really, really tied to like what our commander does. Like, it's why Gisa and Geralf is cool, but we don't want a lot of it. Like, it's harder to make that work because they both need to have you need to have a lot of critical mass of zombies, and we don't have that because we only have one box of sets. We only have one box of cards. Meanwhile, Torrens just cares that we're casting creature spells, which there's a lot of those. All right, what we got here? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only forests, but I think it's okay to keep because of the Scorned Villager into the Spore Crawler. So we go, bam, forest into a Scorned Villager, draw, play a forest, play the Spore Crawler, untap, draw. Never mind, this hand's getting sketchier by the moment. I think we can tap 4. Cast this, sacrificing this. 3 minus 4, yep. And we draw a card off of that. We get the plains, never didn't have it. Gets 2 insects, which reminds me we need to find if we have insects in here. Did we get insects? I don't think we did. Don't think we got the insects. We don't have the insects because we don't have the creepy crawlies in this pile of creepy crawly cards. Untap. Draw. Play the plains. Play the Torrens. Play the Mayor of Averbrook. Untap. Draw. Play the plains. There's something to be said about just passing the turn and having this thing to make tokens all the time. But no, I think we go Griff's Boon onto the Torrens so that we can attack with him and this thing and the token. And then if we want to be rude... Actually, no, this is actually perfect because we do that and then we Angelic Purge something. Sacrificing the Griff's Boon so that we can get it back next turn if we need. The one thing this deck is missing, I will admit, is card draw. But that's just going to be the nature of like these kind of sets. Which gets fixed if we open like a blue legendary next set in Aether Drift. I think loot saves, like, loot is actually really insane if we open it. Loot, just being Teamer is amazing for what we're trying to do here. Speaking of what we're trying to do here, Mentor of the Meek. Not bad. But doesn't really do anything for us here. We can tap this to put the Griff Spoon back on Torrens. Untap, we draw. Evolving Wilds, go get a Plains probably. Play the Fiend Hunter. And then draw a Cord. Fiend Hunter for 4. Because we cast a creature spell, we draw. Get a Bordered Window. And then the worst happens. We get board wiped. This will be something I will occasionally do when I am play testing where I'm like, okay, what happens if we get board wiped here? So we lose all our stuff. Torrens goes away. Griff Spoon goes away. We untap. We draw. Thalia is insane. Now we check our mana because... So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures in the yards. This gold tree only costs 2. But I think instead of doing that, we go 5 mana for Torrens. Oh no, we definitely do that because we go Torrens into the 2 mana gold tree. Well, we have a 10/10, just casually hanging around. The gold tree will consistently train Torrens this entire time. Then we play Thalia and the Bordered Window. And from there, we hope that we don't die. We hope that the 10/10 and some tokens is enough to get us there. Okay. This deck isn't bad. It's a good first Progmander deck. I definitely want to see some, like, I want to see... What do I want to see? I want to see some good vampires so that we can make Soren and Olivia be solid. Definitely want a Bant legendary would be nice, but I don't think there's any that we know of coming out. And especially with Tarkir. Tarkir is going to make that rough. Yeah, I don't know. We definitely want some special guest cards. That would be pretty rad to see. But other than that, I think that's all for today. So let's go over to the chatting screen. Thank you all so very much for watching. I'm gonna be trying to make some more videos. I don't know what I'm doing. That sounds weird. It's a new year. I want to focus more on doing only YouTube stuff. But I'm also thinking of doing other things. I've always wanted to branch out into Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit. That's like one thing that I thought, like, you might have seen. I was posting it earlier. I was like, once Malice came out, which was their Alice in Wonderland thing, long hair suit. Aw, thank you. I love, like, long hair is really nice. I love, like, my hair, even in real life, is kind of long, I think. I like having long hair. It's really nice. My real hair will never be this magnificent. For multiple reasons. One, I am not, in real life, an Eldritch Horror. But my meat suit also is not an Eldritch Horror. Thought process, come back. I want to try to branch out into Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit. I want to see how the other half lives, if that makes sense. And it's one of those, I'm like, one of the things, like, obviously I know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! But I don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! If that makes sense. Like, I don't know how their deck building works. I don't know how their higher level strategies work. I have heard the comparison over and over again that it's basically just like a fighting game. It's like the fighting game of trading card games, which is really interesting, and I want to, like, embrace it. Once it comes to Master Duel, ooh, that'd be interesting. Well, that's the thing, Hakure. I want to try to learn it as much as I can on my own. Mostly because, not because I don't, like, trust anybody else or anything, but Yu-Gi-Oh! From, like, what I've heard from other Yu-Gi-Oh! Creators, they're like, hey, the game is going to, like, end up dying if we don't have a way to bring new players in. And I am mostly, I think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to, like, card games and stuff. So I want to give that a try. Like, I want to try to be, like, as someone who knows how card games work, I want to try to get into it as somebody whose goal is to learn, not to necessarily entertain. Like, what a big Hearthstone stream, which, by the way, Hearthstone, newest mini set, it made me fall in love with Hearthstone again. I'm playing it again. I was playing it, like, right before stream. I'm loving it. I'm loving it to death. I love the Zerg deck. I love specifically the Mage Protoss deck. Adore it. And I think after the stream, I'm gonna try out the Terran stuff. Anyway, sidebar. I want to try it on my own just to, like, kind of learn. There was a Hearthstone streamer, Raren. He played, like, our Master Duel for, like, 4 hours and tried to, like, brute force it. But I don't think that's how you need to go about it. But also, a lot of people are like, oh, you should just get someone to train you. And I'm like, that's not accessible. You can't have, like, an experienced Yu-Gi-Oh! Person who's also good at teach as well. Like, you're not going to have that available to everybody. The issue with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that the total lack of comprehensive rule set means that there's tons of random interactions and rulings that you just have to know. That is one thing that I've seen about it, and that's a little sketchy. Because, unlike Magic, where they have one big comprehensive rule set, Konami feels terrified of, like, unwinding their massive spaghetti code of rules. You just have to experience them yourself, and being an Eternal format with thousands of cards is rough. Which, look, I don't agree with Mr. MBT Yu-Gi-Oh! On a lot of things. I think he has some takes that are absolutely moon-brained that I don't understand. However, one of his things that I said that I will always agree with is that rotation would fix a lot of things about Yu-Gi-Oh! If not, like, practically, optics-wise. Because if you can tell a new player, it's like, hey, you know how Yu-Gi-Oh! Had tens of thousands of cards that you had to worry about? You don't anymore. It's, like, at most 1,000. And, like, that would make it so much easier for a lot of people to, like, just grok cards as, like, an idea. And yeah, it's fine. I think it would solve a lot, but Konami is terrified of change, so they're probably not going to do that. So I want to try to jump into the game as someone who doesn't know this kind of thing and try it out. I'm probably going to get into Malice because I like Alice in Wonderland. I like that theming. I like the idea of it like mixing with code and stuff. That's really cool to me. And I'm gonna hop into it, see how it works. So that's Yu-Gi-Oh. I want to try to like make more videos that are more what's the word? Isolated, because like I feel like part of the problem that I had last year was I tried really hard to make narratives where like I'm trying to tell a story over the course of like 5 or 6 videos, but that just killed my productivity because turns out writing a story where things like happen and there's like cause and effects and like storylines and plot and like different character moments, it's not hard, it's just time consuming. And when this is something that I don't do for a living, it makes it harder to like make that kind of stuff. So I want to make more stuff. Like this is part of it. Like me doing the stream on YouTube, that's part of it because I am on the clock making a video, but I'm also, you know, doing a stream, hanging out with you guys. And that's something that I was planning on doing anyway, but it posted automatically and it does all the work for me. So that's one idea. I also want to talk about more formats. I want to try, like, I'm getting really into Pendragon. That's a really cool format idea. I want to try making Magic the Gathering Online videos. All I'm saying is, I know that there's a lot of shit going on this year. There's a lot happening, especially this week. I don't want to go too deep into it. There's a lot going on, but I want to be a force of good. So I want to be creative. I want to get you guys engaged. I want to get people to think about different things. And I want to try new stuff. I want to have fun with it. And I hope you guys will join me along for the ride. As always, thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, au revoir.